I've got one, but it's hotter than the sun.
Well, just go for it. See what happens. I mean,
But I'm
live
also
life a
doing
little.
the intro.
Well, and burn your tongue at the same time.
Do what?
I just wanted that for the intro. Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, we actually started. I didn't even realise we'd actually started. I missed the countdown.
Jesus Christ, bro.
I didn't even see the countdown.
We're so professional at this now.
So, welcome to episode 27 of Yorkshire Tea XP, brewed in the heart of Yorkshire by three MFL-obsessed managers, Rootcoors, Big Mr. K, and myself, Bruce Lee. We are not pundits, we're not pros, we're just three lads with a shared obsession for progression tactics and agency building in MFL. Each week we'll bring you laughs, insights, chaos and cuppers, tracking our journeys from raw to rare and beyond. I haven't read that for ages. So how are we doing, lads? We're back. Mid-season plan. How are we all doing?
Good. Just been buying, a chunk of players from a certain fellow's agency. McBride prices, but without the alcohol. It was nice. Enjoyed it.
However, that drink you gave me did taste good.
Yeah, it's not this usual one I normally sleep with, where you lose your inhibitions. It's slightly different. Yeah, I'm good. Good week. 3 more days, then I'm off. So happy days with that.
Wait,
So,
you're
yeah.
off? Are you going somewhere?
Holiday.
Shock.
Never.
But the weather is shocking.
Well,
it's not
enjoy
good
your holiday,
news,
mate. You haven't been away for ages, so you're due a break.
Yeah.
You're fourth this year. It's only 4 this year so far. Is it 4?
It's two, but we are only in the third
Only
month.
2. Yeah, we're already in March. Yeah, good point.
You're behind schedule. You're in the 3rd month of the year, and you've only had 2 holidays, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I should have had my Christmas break. Should have extended into New Year. Just shouldn't have come back those 2 days early, and it would have been 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How about you, Mr. K? I'm sure we'll get into it, but you're having a rejig of your agency again. Shock.
I know. To be fair, I just thought, you know what? I've never really sort of thought about my strategy in MFL and about what I could do differently. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do exactly that. So at the moment, I'm sat here monotonously refreshing, updating my inbox, going to unread and clearing that I've read them all because I had 360 something still as we went into the podcast, and it was doing my head in. So I'm getting rid of them. But yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. We've just had the last 16 cup games. If you had teams in that stage of the competition, and I think all the ones that I manage, I think only one went out in the end. Yeah, only one got knocked out. The rest of them have all got through, including the Dow team and the two bronze teams. Yeah, I think both bronze teams went through. So yeah, pretty successful. How about yourself?
I've had an absolute disaster at the higher end of my agency. Everyone who's not in the Aspirants Cup has gone out, and everybody who was in the Aspirants Cup has gone through. And it's like, ugh. But it's what it is. Get to focus on the league now. So, I guess that's okay. That's one shining light. Less MFL, but whatever. What about you, Roo?
Half mine went through and half didn't go through. Pretty much something like that, so not too bad. Dockside ended up going into extra time, 2-2. And then Clarky Boy stepped up with 2 goals in extra time, so he got 4 in the match, so I was happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah, the one that I can recall that I've gone out that was in like the not Aspirants Cup. I don't have a clue which one they're in. Was that one I shared a quick screenshot into of? They had 1 shot all game, 1 shot on target all game, and I lost 1-0. It was loads of fun that. But to be fair, it is what it is. As I like to say, it's really not that much of an issue. Because as I recall, in this exact sort of time frame last season was you getting me going.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I literally was reviewing them going, I just don't care. Like I'm just really not enthusiastic. So yeah, nice change, eh?
Okay.
I thought we were nice and tame when you sent us the message in Discord with your strategic plans. Bruce put a message, but we haven't been as laughy or as diggy as we could have been. We've been quite chill about it.
No. We'll wait until he does it again.
Till he does it again.
And
I said you can take the piss now, and then you can take the piss in the future. Take the piss whenever you wish. I'm chill over it. I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't necessarily be fair to me because I never take the piss out of you guys or anyone else. To be fair, so it would be sort of a bit mean. But I'll give you carte blanche to take the piss out of me if you wish. I'm chill with that.
I guess I did do some of the piss taking when you put your players on 50%, and I was like, yeah, they're still not at the right price.
They are.
I know, but it was funny.
No, they are.
What my first reply I had to edit because what I put was something about the MFL stats site not valuing players right.
Oh, I know.
And I thought, yeah, that's a bit unfair probably. So
Yeah,
changed
I know.
it slightly.
On average, MFL stats is around. If you take that value and go for like 50 to 60%, you're roughly in the right ballpark. MFL Assistant's more up to date because it's able to update more regularly, but it's just more arsing around trying to do the valuations and the way I like to do it. So it's just like, I'm just going to go from there. So no, rough ballpark, it's fine. And I've shifted loads. I'm almost into quadruple figures now in terms of what I've got in the account.
I know when we were talking earlier on Discord, we said there was at least 70 plus players that had gone. Because I'd been keeping an eye on it.
I enjoyed doing that, the bit of marketing, and I thought I'm going to try something different. So I probably did everyone's fucking head in for about a day or so, but I enjoyed it, just trying something a bit different, trying to market it. So yeah, bit of
To
fun.
be fair though, the auction thing, that which I know we might come on to later, well we probably will, but that's going to be interesting. I know you kind of said in the Discord that it's probably just going to be for MFL players, but it would be pretty good if you could put your own players in and have a minimum, a bit like selling on eBay, and it can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw the idea. MFL put the idea in my head when they were talking about auctions. I reckon it would be very much like your So Rare sort of vibe that they will auction a player and people can bid on it, is what I'm guessing it will be. Because if you think about, for example, the Lego players that were in pre-season pack in the MFL agency that I knew would be in the packs, so decided to get one. There's loads of players that are still in that wallet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what's stopping them from auctioning a few of them? I don't know. But I imagine it'll be an interesting one when that comes out. But I'm sure that's one of many, many things to talk through our topic of the week, because we were like, that's topic of the week sorted. Yeah. Oh, and that. Now that's an extra topic. Okay, we've got 4 topics of the week. Okay. So we'll see what we get to.
So before we get to that, as we've mentioned it, we'll go through the club check-in, and I think we should probably start with you, Mr. K, because obviously you've changed your strategy again. So just want to talk through it and just explain what the reasoning behind it is, what your thought process is.
Yeah, sure thing. I've been doing lots of different sort of content, talking to a lot of different people this season. Obviously, last week I was showing you boys how I'm running one of Dio's plat teams for the rest of the season and stuff, which he was very, very gracious and what's the word I'm looking for?
Generous?
Generous, thank you. Extremely generous. I've had my daughter since Wednesday evening and we're doing the nighttime routines, so my brain's fried because I've not been sleeping. So he's been super generous, and the more I've been sort of doing that sort of stuff, I've been doing it with the Dow over the last couple of seasons, the more I've sat there and gone, that's what I want. That is genuinely what I want to be doing on the regular. So if you can hear the boys in the background, that will be 2 dogs in it. I think
you've got 2 now. If
no,
anybody
one's
watched
mine. One's mine. One's the missus.
And the other one's his girlfriend. He's come round for the night.
They're either playing or one of them sodomising the other one. I can't work out which, and I didn't see in time. So there is that going on in the background. So nice mental image for the viewers out there. Don't start again, you two.
It saves me anyway, because I was going to bark when you said things if I didn't agree. That was what I was going to do, but I don't need to now. Cool. And I've spent all weekend practicing my bark, and I literally sound like a feral dog, so it's not very good.
To be fair, now I want to hear it.
No, you're fine.
No, I do.
Yeah, we're not going on until you...
Oh.
What? I didn't hear that.
That was it. It's about all I could get. It's not too
now all
far.
I've got in my head now I've heard that is Root's part-time occupation as a furry in the background. That's all I'm getting in my head. That's all I'm thinking of, so yeah, fair enough. So that wasn't in the plan in terms of my thoughts about my agency. But all this content, I got to that point of, do I want to really push on and be competing at the highest levels in this or not? And if I do, how do I want to go about it? Because there's 2 ways to go about it. Well, maybe 3. 1, I run someone else's club. That's one avenue. 2, I push my own clubs there. But to do that, that's 2 offshoots. It's either I throw a load more money at this, or I move around what I've got in terms of and get some liquidity to give me what I need to push on and do exactly that, and push some of the clubs that I really want to push to compete at the highest levels, like you've been doing with Mamba Bruce. You were like, that's my club, I want to get them as high as I can. And I came to the conclusion that's what I wanted to do. I've enjoyed doing delegation this season. I've enjoyed having all these players. But this season, I haven't spent any time really at all doing anything from ice and below. No. Barely even looked at their progression, if I'm honest. And it's just revenue and potential liquidity for me to throw at and really go for pushing my clubs and my agency to a point where I can sustain is probably the wrong word because it's more expensive to do it this way, but push and compete at those highest levels and really prove I can do it or I can't. Because at the moment I'm sort of between the two. I'm sort of competing at those highest levels with not my clubs, and the clubs that I do have, I'm sort of so stretched so thin with my best players that I'm like, I need to funnel it all into that. Yeah. So at present, the plan is to sell all ice and all lower clubs. Keep everything that's stone upwards because I can service them. I've got players for them, and I can help sort of continually funnel some of those players that have been progressing nicely further up into higher clubs. But the rest of it's all going. I've already sold a number of clubs. I think I've got 25 or so left. I haven't really double checked actually. Yeah, 25 clubs that will be sold for the end of the season. Probably now because most of them are delegated out. Because I want to honour those delegation terms that I set out for folk. So yeah, I've had loads of people contacting me. People are interested. See where we go from here. Basically,
the thing is with the clubs, like you're not really going to lose anything. I think that if it's on some of them, you'll probably just maybe even make a little bit, so it's not a big deal.
I've been
and then the players, it is what it is.
One.
Yeah, there you go. So you're making on those, and the players, it is what it is. Some of them, you by the looks of it, you've not even had to buy. They're from either reward packs or this, that, and the other. And we know that you can make money on players, but that's not what it's all about. So it's not going to really matter to you, is it? So it's going to be just chill. So
it's basically a case of this is why I was sort of really discounting the players because at the moment some of them are on that tipping point of the serviceable now, the usable now. When they start getting the retirement symbols, and what I could try and sell them then, or I know there's something in our topic of the week that was upcoming that might be something that comes into it, but people would get more use out of them now and help build out their agencies. So I was like, well, I don't want to just give them away for now. But I'll see what I can do to drum up and try something a bit different, a bit more engaging. So I did that bit of an auction thing. So apologies to everyone who got spammed with the messages for about 24 hours or so. But made loads of sales from there. I must have sold 60, 70 odd players that were 69 rated or lower. I didn't even finish listing everyone because I just, if I'm honest, I got bored doing it. So I've still got loads of players to list. I might do it again at some point, but happy just to sort of like, some of the younger players that I know you picked up a few, Root. I know some of the guys in the community did. They will value them, having them. Fine, go make use out of them. See what they turn into. Help them sustain what clubs you got, or grow your agency a bit further and push things on. For me, it was let's move bodies out, get a bit more revenue in, and start building a bit of a competitive kitty to sit in the background.
Yeah. So I think as soon as you said you were doing it, I think I just literally did 23 and under, sent you a message and said, these are 9, 10, 11, whatever it is, players that you've got, pretty much all the ones that were that age, what do we want to do? Because I'm always going to want to take those up, and if you're happy, and just took those straight off the bat. And then the other ones I just did in the auction with you, really. So.
Yeah, if I lowball it at the moment, and I don't sell another player, and I just sell those clubs, I reckon I'll have about 2k by the end of it, in terms of like kitty balance to work with. Yeah. And as I was saying to Bruce the other day when we were chatting about it, it's not even that like end of the season, right? I'm just going to go splurge. No, I'm just going. I've got the money in the bank for when I do want to invest into something or push something, or there's a missing piece or a spotted opportunity. But it's going to be for primarily that top end of the agency. Yeah. So that's the plan.
Nice. So
we'll play in Diamond one day.
Ditter.
Yeah. I'll play in Diamond one day. That's the plan.
Yeah. So what about you, Root? You've obviously, you just said you've got an influx of new players this week.
Yeah. To be fair, my teams are all, well, most of the teams I care about at the top are flying. So are we showing our agencies? I know Mr. Big K. Wow, I don't know what happened there. Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay.
Right.
You didn't. I don't even know what's going on. This episode is literally just a weird episode so far. We're 15 minutes in. I'm just going to show my agency. It's like I've never done this before. I don't know what is wrong. It's pretty weird. Right. Yeah, let's do it. So, I did get a chunk of Mr. K's players, purely because I think there was 13, 14 in the end, literally because of the age. And I just picked these ones up just because I was happy with the price we kind of got to on the 24 and 25-year-old. But all those was purely for the age. No idea where I'm going to play them. No idea where I need them. I imagine I'll just play them wherever there are players that are these guys. And then they can either be loaned out or whatever. That's the plan for those players I've brought in. In terms of clubs, touch on Gorillas because we brought them up a couple of times. They're still flying. All being well, they'll get promoted out of Flint into Spark. But then I've got a Spark team will probably come down, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm not too worried about that. And then towards the top end, these sort of like 1, 2, 3, 4 teams here. So Rum Lads, never going to get them relegated, am I? Put my worst possible ice team in it without literally forcing them to get relegated. So I didn't take too much of a hit on progression. Predicted right down in the relegation, which is what I was expecting, and they're sat in the playoffs, which. Yeah, I'm not going to throw games, obviously, but that is just interesting. I don't know if we'll go up, but I don't really want another Stone team. And I've got them that are in the playoffs. I've got these guys that are in the playoffs in ice, and these were predicted right near the bottom as well. I've then got Panthers, which are just outside the playoffs. They keep teetering in and out. It's just because they've had a bit of a bad run, but before that, they were on a pretty good run. So in theory, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but all 3 of those clubs could end up in playoff spots at the end of the season. And I have literally no idea what I'd do if even one of them goes up, let alone 2 or 3, because it would have to be an investment, because I just don't have a choice.
Oh, you could just come back down, mate.
I know, but then, I wouldn't invest in all of them. But if one of them went up, the caveat would be, if this goes to plan, then all these players would feed that one that goes up, right, in Stone. And then I just need a complete new team, new squad for the next level up, which I'm not going to say I don't want to invest in because I don't want to spend the cash, because you know what I'm like. I just bought 14 players I didn't need for however much that came to in the end. So there's no such thing as don't. But Dockside are just flying. They are just flying. And I'm loving what I'm seeing on the experimental as well for the most part. Like this team was super difficult to beat. I couldn't beat them. I think they were playing the narrow the same as me. Oh no, they were playing this. Sorry, yeah, that's my mistake. So that's when I put in the Discord that 4-2-3-1 seems to be strong. Because
not falling in the trap. Stop it! I'm not falling into the trap.
So, but outside of that game, I know we're not talking about new engine. I'm quite happy with how the new engine looks. So, but yeah. So basically, these guys I guess could go up in terms of cups. I'm not going to mess through going through. I'll just do it on the other screen over here because it'll be easier. Go to schedule. Go to past. So Dockside are through, Bulls are through, and then not too worried about them ones. I am focusing on the cup in these teams, to be fair. So it's a shame that some of these other ones have went out. Fortress massively lost as well, which is not very good. Don't know what the team was like. 65, 64, 68. Yeah, that's why we lost. Massively better than us. And then in terms of Fortress, I think second. Yeah, second. And this guy at the top's obviously flying. Look, he hasn't even conceded a goal.
Jesus.
In 12 games. So, and battered me 4-0. So yeah, I'll get them in the playoffs. So hopefully I can get them up. That'll be quite nice. And that is it for me.
Cool. I'll quickly run through mine. What the fuck is? Why does this pop up all the goddamn time? Right. Anyway, so
What was that?
The cookies permissions thing, like you have to disagree to all the time, and it pops up all the time. we'll go to Fortress. Fortress had a horror run in the cup, so we didn't have a cup game today. We also don't have a game tomorrow because it's only 11-team league, so a few games to wait for me to get another game. But we are second, only a point behind. We lost here in this game because we had to rotate into our B squad, and to only lose 3-2 against a team that was like right next to us, I'm pretty confident that we're just going to smash through this and win this division. Next up, Yorkshire Tea XP went through in the cup today with a 4-2 win, top of the league, undefeated, 53 goals, 3 conceded. Really annoyed about those 3 goals I conceded because we shouldn't have. But yeah, smashing through, hopefully getting as much MFL as possible so that we can give it away at the end of the season. Newton Heath, we are 5th, not too far away from the playoff spots at all. We drew with the team that were second, so if we can, first half of the season we lost to the top 3 and drew with this team here, so if I can switch those around and get points off these guys, I might be able to sneak in here. But yeah, cup is priority on this team and we are through to the quarterfinals. Fortress also went through in the cup, also top of the league. Kind of feel comfortable here. Like it seems pretty close, but I do feel comfortable, and we've got a run of easy games here before we start facing the tough teams. So hopefully we can stretch our lead out a little bit further and get them up into iron. Rossonero and Mamba have been amazing because I was playing 4-2-3-1 in the first half of the season. I got sick of all the 1-0 draws and the 1-0 wins and the close, tight defeats. Got sick of it. Switched to a 4-1-2-1-2, and we've won all 3 games since. Into the cup as well, quarterfinals. We've moved up into 3rd in the league, only 3 points behind 1st and 2nd. So that has been a great turnaround for them. Trust the process. Philly B absolutely running away with the league. Yeah, this is done. I think let's just end the season and put us up now. Lost to Rory in the cup. It was bad because he played 4-3-3-8 and I had to go into my 3-5-2 rotation, so that everyone's rotated. Not the best idea going up against Rory's 4-3-3-8, but it's fine. I'm sorry, Trust. We're out at the round of 16 stages, but we are going to be bronze teams next season, so don't worry about that. Trust the process. Philly A, again, top of the league. Slightly closer because this team are keeping up with us, though we did beat them before the mid-season break, and we play them pretty soon as well. I was a bit gutted about this loss. This one was a bit more like, I'm not sure we deserved that. Very close 3-2 loss. I thought we created as many chances as they did, but their goals went through. So, yeah, again, focus on the league. Open up this gap, hopefully, and get these guys up into bronze. Ricknell Rift, we're having a horror start to the season because I was playing my, lottery slot machine tactic, and I decided to change it round because I didn't want to go down. And as you can see here, we've had a pretty good run of results in the league. We drew 3-3 with Solid Lad, and if you compare that to the first time we played just before the mid-season break, I'd say this is a massive improvement. We lost here in the cup, and that's because I had to play a 48 rated centre-back, because in this game against Solid Lad, both of my centre-backs got yellow cards, which put them into the 5 yellow card thing. So I had 1 centre-back for this game. Had to play the 48 rated. To only lose 2-1. I'm pretty impressed with that. We did all right. But yeah, we are out of the cup. We then went into Clevo Castle, who last night, great run of form, as you can see, smashing goals. Beat the team who were top of the league last night. Lost 2-1 in the cup, and I was pissed because I felt like we were the better team, but it's just the case of this engine. Like, you just play 4-1-3-2, and it kind of gets you through like 80% of your games, and it kind of annoyed me. So we are through. Didn't think we deserved to lose, but fair play to, I think that's Booze Lee's team. Fair play to him for going through. And then we come to Black Mamba, who are still second. The Black Member curse kicked in when the mid-season thingy went on. We lost to bottom of the league, as, just fucking standard at this stage. Turned it around last night with a 2-1 win. We were actually battering this team. We should have won by more, and we only conceded with a outside of the box, like a ridiculous outside of the box shot in the last minute. So I honestly don't think that, we'll take the win, but I don't think this scoreline is reflective of how the game went. But yeah, still in second, so I'm happy about that. Only 2 more wins away from my target. And then I can start concentrating on finishing as high as I can. As you can see here, I lost in the cup. Very, very tight game against Work the Space. It was a really close one, and I just wanted to point this out because this actual cup is like crazy. Like I think on the Ramble they called it the content creators contenders cup because of the people who are in it. Like all well-known people. There's the Ramble there who got smashed by snakes, pythons. Jesus Christ. Fraj had a couple of teams in there. One of them got through. This is one of Sid's teams as well. I imagine that's an ice team. I'm only joking. But yeah, one of Sid's teams is in here. And then there was Work the Space, myself. Monkey got knocked out as well. And Jimbo as well. So that's going to be a real interesting winner for that because lots of well-known managers in that. I did want to go through. But yeah, Work the Space is a tough opponent, and it was a very, very tight game. And I just want to say, the guy who scored the goal, I don't know if Jack will watch this, but this is punishment because the guy who scored the goal is one of Trust the Process's guys.
Oh, wow.
And I've been looking at him to take him next season. And because he scored this goal, I'm sorry, Jack, I'm taking him next season. He's playing for Mamba. So apologies to any of your plans you had last season for this guy. I'm taking him next season because he scored the goal here. So that's your punishment for beating me. But yeah, really tough game, really close. And a lot of it came down. I've got a lot more confident with my tactics thanks to Kev. Out of nowhere, I just want to give him a big shout out. Out of nowhere, yesterday morning, he just dropped me a message and was like, "Yeah, I've been playing with a 4-3-3-D and check this." And it was just one really simple little thing that kind of just unlocked everything for me. I've been, like I said last week, I've been playing like Eric Ten Hag's Man United, like just hoping someone pulls something out of their ass. But with this one little change, my wingers, they're not like they were, but they're behaving like I'd expect them to, which is really good. So big shout out to Kev for that little tip that he pointed my way, and I'm going to keep testing that. And it looks really, really good going forward. So hopefully good things for Mamba, and then start looking forward to next season, which is something I'll probably discuss in length closer to the time when we've worked out all the details and ironed all the details. But things look good. I should be able to get Mamba further up the pyramid pretty soon, I think, which also won't affect my bank balance that much, which is quite happy with that. So, definitely. Yeah, I know you went through. Is there any clubs you wanted to just point out, Mr. K, before we move on to the topic of the week? Any ones you wanted to just highlight quickly before we move on?
I should really, as you boys did as well then, should really have a look at least the Ron John Club. So yeah, Ron John Club, the best formation that can be run with this in terms of quality teams is the 4-3-3-D, which is okay this year. It's kind of got something going with it. I was having a look thinking, do we not have a cup game? No, we went out of the cup because we went out in goal difference. This is not something I've seen before. The team there second won one game in the cup and went through because they drew 5. They got through.
And you turned that around, mate, because you were like low down at the start of the season. You really turned that around.
Yeah. They've definitely been turning it around. They're doing okay. Ticking on. Let me have just a quick scan through. Wolves went through in the cup. They don't think they were already in it anymore. That Stone Club that got delegated out went through. Peacocks went through. I did double check. Both Owls and Keto both went out. Grenoble went through, Eindhoven went through, and Istanbul went through. So yeah, across the board, lots of people through. I think the team that I'm mainly bothered about is my Peacock team, which is top of the league. We didn't play last night because, again, we've got an 11-team league, which I always find really strange at these sort of higher levels as you go in, that you end up with these 11-team leagues.
Flint and spark, don't you? But when you get to iron and bronze, you're like...
Yeah. But... I was thinking about it. Is that a MFL issue? No, not really, because if people own the club, say they got relegated from bronze last year into iron and they haven't registered them,
Yeah.
then MFL can't do anything about that. So there's not really a proper solution there. It's just one of those things that, you end up with an 11-team league. Because I think I had a break the last league game before the break, and then it was like the first or the second game back. I've had a break again, so
Annoying.
it's fine. I've only lost one league game in this league this season, which there's no way I should have lost the game, as I recall. It was just one of them smash and grab sort of games. Fine though, so that's the one I'm mainly bothered
I was
about.
saying earlier that's probably going to be your flagship team, right?
Yeah, that's the intention, because Eindhoven team, shared ownership, Vipers, who is the silver team, they're still top of the league. I think they're unbeaten as well this season. They're shared ownership. Keto, it's basically Ron John's team this season. Might keep hold of it, might not. Has been someone who's come forward and said, look, if you're looking to get rid of it next season, I'll take it off you. So I'm not sure what I'm doing there. But like my other iron teams, the Owls and Grenoble, I wasn't expecting much from them this year because they're okay in terms of strength, but they're not doing great. Grenoble, it's mainly draws. I've only lost 2 league games all season, but I was playing the 4-1-4-1 diligently, and I kept just running and battering my head against the wall with the draw after a draw after a draw, so I've done a bit more work on that. And Owls is like, they need to try and compete to stay in the league, and they're second in the league. So, yeah, they've only lost 2 league games all year. So, yeah, ticking on. They just went out in the cup. That was the one that I think I was showing you in Discord. Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to watch this. I just looked at the end and thought, oh, well, they went out. And I was like, right, fine, it's fine, whatever. But yeah, overall, quite happy with that. The rest of the clubs, all the delegated ones out. I don't know which one of you guys asked me, am I selling them yet or I'm holding on to them?
Me.
At the moment. Yeah, the intention is I'm going to hold on to them at the end of the season because of the club delegation piece. I let one of them go to Bremner, part of the deal that we did, because he wanted 3 clubs and he picked up a ton of players. Because he's not going to touch it, basically. Kev's running it for 0%. It's very simple. So Kev just runs his players in that team, and Bremner's got it for next year. I'd be willing to sell others before the season if they're going to honour the agreement, because I can't do anything about it. Once it's sold, I have no control, so it's just more a case of who's buying it instead of just flogging them all now. So yeah, ticking on, see how we get on, eh?
Nice.
Yeah, I asked because I think you've got a location on one of them. I'd have to double check, and I was like, to be fair, I'd probably take that as I think it was a Flint or Spark. So I'll sort it out with you at some point. I can't remember.
That's fine. Well, if you wanted to have it before the end of the season, you can do, because I mean it's not loads of MFL, but it's some. Speaking of which, while I'm thinking about it, mate, we talked about this towards the start of the season. I don't know what your plans are for your MFL coming into the season, but if you're short of the pack you want to get, let us know, and we'll see what we can do to move things around. Because I can just add you as a staff member to a club to give you a percentage to then
to get that over,
to get you. I don't have to send you a player anymore. It's a bit simpler. So yeah, if you're short of the pack you want, let us know.
I'll check that. What the estimation is actually. That's a good call.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, all good. All good.
Nice. So I guess we should move on to our many topics of the week. We have a few things we can discuss. I think the first one, because it's the first one on the list right now, is the Whitepaper Updates. If you have not checked it out yet, I did drop a message in the Yorkshire Tea XP Discord about go and look at it. It has been updated, and if you read through it with a fine-tooth comb, there is some new information there on stuff which I found really, really interesting. Have you guys looked at it, read through it?
I've only looked at the bits that you sent in, really. I haven't gone through it myself page by page.
Yeah, I've not had a chance to go through it as much as I wanted to. I've sort of skimmed it, but I wanted to spend some time one day this week to sort of skimming through it and reading it all again. Because I think you highlighted it first and foremost in our sort of like creators sort of chat, didn't you, Bruce?
Yeah.
And there was you and a couple of other guys that were sort of, oh, this is different, then this is different. I don't think anything's alarming from it. It's just
No.
clarifications more than anything else.
Rewording, updating stuff, because some of the stuff was outdated. They've taken some stuff out. I noticed, like, stuff that, that they said before was, oh, this might be in development. Like, they've taken stuff like that out, There's a few things that I did notice, which I thought were really interesting. First thing was the feet, when it mentioned preferred foot.
Yes.
and it said left, right, or both, which is really interesting because, as we know, there are no players currently with both as their preferred foot, and it does make sense to have players who can use both feet. So I'm imagining that will be future mints. Maybe at some point we're going to start, because I can't see them taking existing players and putting it on. They can't do that, can they? So I imagine future mints, we may start seeing both feet preferred, which is pretty cool. Another thing I noticed, which I didn't realize it before, but when their definition of physical, the physical stat was it now, the usual, the energy and stuff like that, but also their ability to perform under pressure, which I thought was very interesting.
Yes.
And also, I don't know if it's been implemented yet, but that would make a lot of fucking sense as to why my 40, physical guy will sometimes have a game where he's an absolute, shitter. That would make sense. But that's pretty big, in it. Doesn't that make physical like one of the most important stats?
Well, you
Yeah,
think
definitely.
about real
Oh,
world
it
football,
already
it
did
would
a bit.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to have high physical for those big games, aren't you? If you need them to perform, like that's a very interesting thing. I'm surprised they haven't mentioned anything about it, or if it was always there and they've just not said.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if people start taking physicality more serious, because I did from, I don't know whether it was one of our early episodes when we did this recording, one of you guys mentioned it, and it hadn't clicked, and then when I was looking at my players, I was like, oh yeah, that's why he's going down like 1% and he's going down like 3%. And then it started to ring true about and even on the recovery side of it. So that every time I look for a player now, the first thing I do is say, obviously different if I'm just buying like I was today, but if I'm looking on the market, I'm like 60 plus physical. I just start there as a starting point to at least go, right, where do I go from here?
For me, it's a starting point for it's a very big consideration for the role and or position I want them to play. So if you've got a striker with poor physical, but loads of pace and loads of shooting, well, yeah, they've got the chance of getting away from someone and getting the shot away, but like their lack of physicality can impact their ability to get past defenders or being basically knocked off balance when taking shots, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But like for some positions, I won't be as bothered. I suppose if you've got wingers that you want to be tricky wingers that are going to dribble and create space and stuff like that, then no, I might not be as bothered, but it's very much a consideration now. And that's one thing I notice on positions like cams quite often. Their physicality is awful compared to other roles and stuff. And if you think about if they're playing against a team that's got a DM, they could just get murdered. And that's why the cam performs poorly in a game, because they haven't got any physicality. But yeah, you've got this image on screen now, Bruce. I think it's yourself, isn't it?
No, I've just put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've put it up there because I don't think I've seen this in the white paper before, and because we're talking.
this is a new image.
Yeah,
was
they've
clicking
updated
through
a lot of the
stuff.
graphics. They put in tutorial videos. I think it's Fab Miz, German guy. He does the narration for all of them. I mean, it's not stuff that we don't already know, but for a new player, it's sort of like it's all. For anybody new coming in and they go and read not the white paper, but the game guide as it's called now.
game guide,
Do you reckon they used AI to make this?
Yeah, definitely. But this is really clear. It is a really clear image, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Like I
great.
say, none of this is new to us. But
I
if
can
you're
tell
new
it's
to the
AI
game,
made. You can definitely tell.
Yeah. But if you're new to the game, instead of like you say reading the white paper, which we're still an advocate of everybody should read the white paper, this just in one image really does help you understand things, even like the talent gap that people don't really probably appreciate when they're new and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's quite a cool graphic.
There was a couple of other things I noticed. When they were talking about captain and the bonuses the captains give, goalkeeper was left off. Is that just me overthinking it, or the ability to captain your goalkeeper, is that going away, or is that just maybe they've just missed it? I don't know. Like,
They must
it's a
have
bit of
missed it.
speculation. And one thing I did notice, and because it ties into what you guys were saying about the auction, they did mention in the economy section, player auctions are not available right now, but it is a feature that could possibly be added in the future. So you guys were talking about the auctions. It's obviously in their mind to bring the ability to auction off players. Like, what do you guys think about that? Is it
I
better
mean,
or?
I think it's a good idea.
Right.
Don't you?
I'm leaning more towards no, if I'm honest. Makes sense as a business, very much so, absolutely. If there's a definite, especially at those higher levels, you end up like this season, going into the season. I was looking at wingers, I was looking at centre mids. Wingers, quite a few, but it's trying to find the profile of the one you want. Trying to find a centre mid with the parameters you're looking for I don't know, around sort of mid 80s, really fucking difficult because there weren't a lot on the market and scarcity drives up the price.
Yeah.
And then mid-season, you saw that even more. People were buying them because the prime positions, not the wingers, but the centre mids, for a lot of formations this season, and then left and right mids. It's the same thing. Especially with the free agent, they were heavily marked up, but people were paying it. I saw a number of sales, and every time there's a hefty sale, I was looking and going, maybe they're just a progression monster. No, oh no, they're a free agent. And they suit the need, and it's supply and demand. I can understand them maybe look at the economics and go, right, we've got these players in the MFL wallet that haven't been patched yet. They're available. We can release them this way. Because if you've got the MFL wallet, it takes an age to load. Yeah. And if you look at date joined, even for the higher rated players, some of them have been there for ages. So being able to release them in some sort of capacity, I'm just like, I don't know if that helps the ecosystem of players and that natural cycle of, and people complaining about the power creep. Adding auctions where people can go, a player that isn't in the ecosystem already gets added and you can bid for it and drive the rest.
No. I think from what I gathered, it's players who are listed. Like, it won't be MFL players from
That's
the MFL
what I thought.
wallet.
Yeah,
it'll be... So instead of you putting it up and listing it for a price, you can put it up for an auction.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just highest bidder wins it.
I thought it was like the MFL players. You know, like, what's it called? Like, So Rare is the example I'm going with. There is no auction availability for you auctioning your players, but MFL can auction new cards, new players, new things, whatever. I thought they were going down that route.
To touch on that, have you seen Ryan Walters' episode this week, Meet the Manager?
Not a chance to watch all of it. I've listened to about 30 minutes. I've not had a chance to finish it.
So in it, Mathurin talks about possibility of bringing in like youth academies. So our club will generate players at the end of the season, and then we can choose to buy them if we like them. So that what you were saying about, there's all these people who are just sat in the MFL wallet, that's probably where they'll go, and you'll get lucky. And if you generate a fucking Lego or something, but there's a price to pay to also generate them revenue.
I mean, that has to be part of this.
Yes.
There's no getting away from that. MFL need to make money, obviously.
Yes,
like, I'm not getting away from that at all. It was just like I keep saying the S word over and over again. It's not that the other name for football, but they have had that ecosystem problem because every time they mint new players, it's like every season they're minting new cars. It's like it devalue previous iterations of. Obviously, we're not in the same dynamic here, but I just wonder how much of a hit it might have on the market. Like that left back I packed at the start of the season. If I go in the market now and looked at how many similar profile players there are, I don't think there'll be many.
No.
I'm just going to literally start doing it now, just super
Not at that
quick.
age and definitely.
Do you think the auctions will be... So say at the minute you're going to list someone for $10, right?
Yeah.
So you know you want $10. And at the minute, someone will either buy now $10 or drop you an offer, 8, 7, whatever. So auctions, do you think it'll be... Starts at, let's just say 1, and your minimum you're willing to accept is 10, or do you don't think you'll be able to put a minimum?
I think it'll have to be something slightly separate because you can't have... Because right now, we can list a player and I can leave him listed for 10 seasons if I want. I just leave him there. But with auctions, I think you're going to have a timer, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Of course
this last... So I imagine, like you said, like to compare with eBay, it'd be like you'd have a starting price...
Yep.
And maybe a buy now price if you want it right now.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but if no one wants to pay the buy now price, there'll be an auction. But it'll have to be timed. They can't just leave them there because then what's the point of the auction?
No.
So it'd have to be...
Yeah. That's quite cool, though. I like that idea. So you take the $10 one again. I list him for 10, but I'm willing to do an auction for 7 days.
Yeah.
And as long as the bid goes over 6, let's just say, it'd go, right? So if someone put $6.01, at the end of that 7 days, that guy would sell, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a minimum, aren't you? Because otherwise...
19-year-old on there, what you doing, lad? Get him in a
Well-
club. Oh, are these all clubbed? Are these...
I assume so. Yeah, they should all be in
right,
clubs.
okay.
I just did all players. I was just using it. I just wanted to use an example. So this 19-year-old left back is the best 19-year-old left back in the game right, at this point. If they're able to look at that and MFL and go, well, there's a real shortage of young left backs. So I don't know. Let's open this out to 21-year-olds just out of curiosity and see how many people it throws up now. So they're looking at that and going, okay, there's not that many young, good left backs or whatever, choose a position, and they start minting them for the auction idea. The way I was going with it is like, well, okay, if I get this player and then I sold him because someone looks at that and goes, he's the best young left back in the game, they pay a premium, and then 2 days later, MFL start releasing players in that sort of auction mould. It's like that sort of hit, that sort of concept and idea, that devaluation of players because the market equilibrium starts changing. That's what I was worried about around that side of things. But if it's just us auctioning our players, I mean, that's what I did today. Well, the last 24 hours, basically, as a bit of just a concept and idea and see if it actually work.
It would be good if both happened.
Fun.
I could see a place where both of them can happen. Because I quite like the idea, like you say, of auctioning your own off. But I do think there has to be a time limit, like you said, Bruce. And I think there has to be a minimum as well, because you could be one of those unlucky people that starts it at 1. You want about 10 and it just sells for 1. So you're going to need to be able to have what would I comfortably take? A bit like you did today, Mr. K. You kind of will have known roughly what you were willing to do on some of those players. But I do like the idea of the one that lends itself to the other ecosystem where, like you said there, it's quite clear there isn't enough left backs. People competing at that side maybe need them. Maybe we can mint 2 or 3 of them and bang them out there and those people can bid for them. They're obviously good from an MFL point of view because that commercial money they'll take in would be a lot. For the people buying them, you're going to buy at a premium, right? But that's...
I don't know.
Willing to pay.
If you did introduce that, do you do pat drops anymore? Because would I spend the money on a pat drop if I can go, I'll go get specifically what I want from the auction sort of idea, that sort of angle, it would really change the dynamic of it. I think most people still go for your cheap packs because the kickoffs and the limited sold out within a minute or two.
Yeah.
Because people like cheap gamble, dev jail, whatever, off they go. But your rare packs and your standard pack again limped home after about 20 minutes and they all sold. I would put my money into that.
No,
now,
it's too much of a gamble.
if that came up, because, well, why would I? If I can go and keep that money and put it towards a player I need.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's one of those.
We say that, but then we still, even now, could go and buy some players we need, but we just rip packs. Because that's being sucked in, isn't it? I think it's obviously, I just love the kickoff one, because like you said, it's negligible. And I just seem to get loads of 30s and 40 rated players, and I just hope I get someone like Bruce did at one of these times, and it actually all ends up accumulating to something good from at least one player. But then you're not going to sell him, are you? Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to add on the white paper before we move on?
Not at this point. I think I'll go away and have a look at it and have another read. Maybe there's something that comes up there that's worth discussing maybe in next week's pod.
And that's a shout out to anybody. You should all have read the white paper by now.
Definitely.
I think it's a tip, one of the first tips you should get when you join MFL. And so if you haven't checked it out, you should at least check it out just to see the updates on it and stuff like that. I think they'll add more as more stuff comes in and keep it up to date. I think I'm just surprised they haven't mentioned it in the dev updates or anything. It was an accidental find, I think.
Random question on that before we go any further. Was
yes.
it clearly identifiable that they've got a note to say this is last updated and stuff like that?
At the bottom of the thing, when it did it, it was last updated 46 minutes ago.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff they have to be really, really hot on. So I'm glad they are.
Yeah.
The Dev Center one was last updated 2 days ago.
Was it?
So there's got to be something in that page.
Again, worth a scan.
Worth a scan, yeah, worth a look. So yeah, make sure you're checking that out, guys. If you haven't already, just go have another look through it just to make sure it's all up to date and all your information is up to date on the game and how it works. We will move on to our next topic of the week, and that is because the experimental engine is now live and available to test. There's some notes here. This update focuses on specific adjustments based on your feedback to improve the current engine without introducing any major changes. They have adjusted ball calling behaviour, especially to prevent forwards from dropping too deep and ensure they stay in the more appropriate attacking positions. They've reduced the impact of long diagonal passes, mainly by lowering their accuracy, and slight adjustments to core metrics, increasing the number of shots, goals, and red cards. We'll come to the mid-season report in that. What's our thoughts, boys? Have we tested it at all yet, or have we had a look?
Yeah. Go on, Mr. K.
Just wanted to. That last bit you were talking through then, Bruce, they were saying they've done something to reduce cards, shots, and goals.
No.
Slight adjustments to core metrics, increasing the number of shots, goals, and red cards.
Makes sense, because I've been analysing the mid-season report for the pod today, so I've done some analysis. That makes sense now, what they're finding, and when I analysed it, what it was pulling through, that makes sense. I just thought, that sounds like... I misheard you thinking they'll go in the other direction. I'm thinking that contradicts the mid-season report. That's a bit odd. But anyway. Root, you were saying something about the engine, weren't you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've ran a load of friendlies with my dock side, which I kind of talked on earlier, and the narrow is performing really, really well. I know Kev said the same in, I don't know if it's on our content creators Discord or where it is, but he said something very similar. But it's one of those that if everybody else's formation isn't set up for the new engine yet, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, because it probably just could mean that their formations, maybe the way they're set, are just not as good, and mine just then seems more effective. So don't want to get ahead of myself, but from what I'm seeing, I am seeing, I actually am seeing less diagonal passes, not just the reducing in impact. I am seeing less diagonal passing. I think I posted last night that I'm seeing an even greater variety of shots than I was seeing even this season. So, like, in most of my games, in fact, I don't know if I've seen even 2 goals the same across all the ones that I ran. They've all been different. It seems quite nice build-up now. It feels like there's a sense of some ticky-tackiness in there as well. If you've got players that can do those nice, short, sharp passes, and I'm seeing that. And then I think for the full-backs, they're getting further up the field to cross rather than crossing from deep. Obviously, in the setup that I've got, which would... So whereas crossing more often just meant they crossed more, and they now seem to get to where you'd expect them to cross from to cross more. That made some sort of sense, but you know what I mean?
I know what you meant. Yeah. I've been holding off. I played a couple of games on it, but I've been holding off because I want to wait until we get closer to the confirmation that it's the thing, because I think this next season I'm going to have the flexibility to not be forced into one formation, so I want to see what is working closer to the time. I don't want to be like, right, I'm going to play this formation next season because it looks great on the experimental, and then the Friday before the season starts, something changes and everything's fucked, and I'm in the situation I'm in right now. But yeah, I mean, obviously James is going to be happy about the crossfield things. I mean, we've seen some comments on it. I mean, we saw Ronan kind of lose his head. I don't want to call out Ronan, but we did see Ronan lose his head in the engine feedback about it.
I forgot about that, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to take Ronan seriously because last season the engine was trash. Like, it was a bad engine and we didn't hear a word from Ronan. So now suddenly for him to lose his head, it's hard for me to take his... I get what he's saying, but it's hard to take it seriously. And I don't think it was very constructive. You know what I mean? I don't think it helps anyone, what he said. But yeah, other than... I mean, as well, he was more control. Oh, you fixed it, you bastards. That's what it felt like. Like, you know what I mean? It was weird. It was really weird.
I know what you mean, because I was like, they've given you what you want.
Yeah.
This is what you want. I think maybe it's... Yeah, funny.
Yeah, so do we envisage any major change? Because the 1-2 games I played as 4-3-3-D, wingers still kind of seem the same. So I imagine the right-left midfielders is still going to be meta? I don't know if you guys have found anything like.
I don't think it is drastically different to this season's. I think literally what you read out is pretty much what I'm seeing, which, I'm fine with that. I mean, I can't speak for wingers because I haven't played any, so I don't know if Mr. K's played any with his wingers. He's got some feedback.
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of testing. I've probably played about 20, 25 games now. Different formations and stuff, just sort of getting a feel. And it wasn't try and find out what formation works the best. I was literally doing different formations to look for sort of different types of play that were being played out. Like we've seen this season, you progress the ball from one side of the pitch, you do the big switch to shuffle the team over, and then really you're going to do the same again and look to cross it. You keep basically switching until you get the ball into the box, because that's the best route to goal. So I was looking for those sorts of things. There is still that essence of this engine in the new engine. You can still feel that. You can still see it. The big crossfield switches, like you say, Root, they're not doing it as often, because what you'll get now in this current engine is they'll switch the play, they'll hold on to it for a second and not move, and they'll switch it again.
Yes.
And they're not progressing, they're just literally switching from, like just a tennis game, one side of the pitch to the other, which doesn't make much sense in the wide scheme of things, but that's what they do. So I'm still seeing bits of it, but less of that sort of nonsensical big switch. Crossing still is viable, absolutely. I've actually seen quite a number of long shots get rifled in from outside the box by strikers, which I'm not really seeing any of those this season, if I'm honest.
That was weird because
slamming goals.
Pre-season for this season, I was seeing lots and lots of long shots, and then
Same.
the season started, and I've seen none. And I'm like, that's weird, like odd,
Yeah.
but
Dribbling seems effective with the right players in the right scenario. I've seen some very good goals, but not the let's dribble the goalkeeper. It's the guy's got the ball on the edge of the box. He's got two defenders in front of them. He sends the one way, sends the other, dribbles through, and then takes a shot. I've seen a number of those, and a number of goals come from that. So maybe dribbling is a little bit better. I don't think it's particularly good in this engine. I've had many a conversation about how I'm running setups, and I've shared them with people. They're like, "You're not doing dribble more. Why no dribble more?" And I'm like, because I just don't think it works.
Yeah.
It's simply put. Well, I've got these really good dribblers. Cool. Genuinely, they might work for you then, because you've got these extremely good dribblers. But on the large-scale testing, it didn't. It was less effective and caused the attack to break down more often than not, so I don't do it. And the premise of the ball is the ball will travel quicker if they're hoofing at 60 yards than if someone's running with the ball. They'll never be as fast as the ball if it's been hoofed 60 yards, and I want to get forward quick. So yeah, I think the engine, like for an experimental engine, it's not bad at all. In terms of, I'm not seeing lots of weirdness, bugs, issues. Not seeing much so far, but I'm probably not going to do much more for now. I'm going to wait for the next iteration of it and see if it seems any different. Because as me and Bruce have been chatting here and there about the new engine, there's no point doing loads, and I've done more than you've done at the moment, Bruce. There's no point really investing into it, because what I'll next do when we get a new version of it is go, okay, do I see the same things I saw in the first version of it? Do I see the same things pertaining, staying the same, or the new things? And just keep looking for those things rather than the elite formation, because we've got time to sort that out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so blah blah. The next thing is the mid-season report. Now I haven't read this, so hopefully Mr. K has got information here. But what they do say is fouls and cards have been reduced and are now more realistically balanced across positions. Red cards are on the lower side but remain at a satisfying level. The XG model remains consistent and satisfactory, as do upset rates, and shots have decreased and should be increased. So yeah, Mr. K, if you've read it, what have you seen? Like,
I've got effectively what I did from doing the analysis and going through it, and then I ran it through an AI model just to make sure what I dug out, did it agree with it? And we've come to these. There's like 10 points basically, like 3 more bigger takeaways. But yeah, as you'd said then, there has been a reduce of what they called the disciplinary chaos we had from season 11. We've had a reduction in the amount of yellow cards per game, number of red cards per game by quite a bit as well. They're saying whether it's in keeping with real-world football, they think they're closer, but that red cards are slightly underrepresented, so I think that's what we're going to see, as you said before about this new season engine. We should see a slight increase in red cards. Because last season it was like looking at the numbers, 0.16 red cards per game, and in this one it's now 0.1. And real leagues apparently it's a range between 0.13 and 0.21. So I think they'll try and shuffle it up a little bit, but what is noticeable, because I'm not going to go through all the points because some are more interesting than others. I'll come back to the being more defensive and stuff in a moment, is underdogs are getting punished more harshly. So if you're a weaker team, you're getting more cards. That is what they're trying to represent in this season's engine, and that's what they've noticed quite a bit. So from this season to last season, there's been a almost 4% increase in the number of yellow cards and a 10% increase in the number of red cards if you are the weaker team in a game, because they're trying to represent like a model where weaker teams are like chasing the game, and so they're not like foul more, they're not as effective in the tackle, which I don't mind too much. They've got this good balance apparently based on their data that how you set your team aggressively, it's being represented like there's a clear disparity between low, balanced and aggressive in the number of yellow and red cards based on those parameters. Because if you're aggressive, you've got a 2.5% more 2.4 times more likely to get a yellow card from low to high aggression. So there's those sorts of balances that you can play in your game and stuff. I personally have subscribed this season to my strikers and my wide mids, and if I've got a cam, be more aggressive. But that's it. No one else. Because I don't care if they're where they give free kicks away, because they're too far away, but it stops that big switch constantly happening because they break the play up. Tactical fouls. That's what I'm going for. Or they're just putting pressure on. What else is interesting? They are saying the game's become more defensive. Like there's been a decline in the number of goals and the number of shots compared to last season and the season before, season 10. There's quite a drop from last season, but if you thought about last season, some teams were getting blown out because the amount of red cards we were seeing across games. So playing with 10 men, it's impactful. So I take that bit with a grain of salt, but from season 10 there's a slight decrease. So it's just what you were saying then about the new engine, saying they're trying to raise these things. I think it's all ringing true with what's come through in the mid-season report. Yeah. Was there anything else really worthwhile? I'd like to circle back to your thoughts on this, but this idea of we need to model real-world football, I'd like to see what your takes are on these things, because I'm not hugely into that, because I don't really care. It did say positional discipline became more realistic. So left mid and right mids had a reduction in cards. Wing backs had a number of cards reduced, but centre backs and CDMs had their number of cards increased. More draws this season, the season on average. Upsets remain stable. I've liked this season a bit more because last season it seemed if you were the stronger team, you won. Primarily,
I still think it's still weighted that way. I know it's supposed to be weighted that way.
I feel like I can overcome it this season.
Right, okay.
That's the difference I'm feeling from it, is I feel like it's not insurmountable, whereas last season it was like, doesn't matter if I'm the strongest or weakest or the same. It's just, let's roll the dice. Let's see what number we roll and see who gets highest number. You win. Yeah. XG, it's the title that I've quoted the title from the AI model that it gave me. It said, point number 10, XG remains highly reliable. Doubt.
Yes, press X to doubt.
Doubt. But yeah, there seems to be a bit more variance this season in terms of some of the stats, in terms of potential outcome based on safer teams and stuff, but it's closer to what season 10 was than what season 11 was, which kind of makes sense and it resonates with me that it is.
Yeah.
Maybe not how you score and how the games pan out in terms of the highlights you see on the pitch, but general feel of the engine, it seems somewhat familiar from what we've had before. But yeah, these points that are constantly put in the mid-season report, it's always referencing and quoting real-world football parallels from the FPL, from this league, from that league. I get why they're trying to do that. I'm not bothered about it being the same.
I'm the same, yeah. This is metaverse football, isn't it? It's not real football. It's metaverse football. We're not playing a simulation, a real-life simulation. I mean, we are sort of, but it's not like you should stay rigid to it.
Yeah.
And as well, I mean, they put the Ligue 1 in there, and I'm a bit like, Well, that's kind of a... Sorry, guys, but it is a farmers' league, let's be real. So can we really take those stats, like... I mean, I'd say the championship would probably be more...
And you wonder why your padlock is shit.
I'd say, genuinely, other than PSG, I'd say the championship is a stronger league than the French league. Oh, and the Italian league as well. Like...
Only thing I'll caveat on my point about that sort of real-world comparison piece is I also acknowledge that at the same time we've talked about wanting that immersion in the game, and it needs to be more realistic. So we can't have one and not the other. Like they're trying to find that sweet spot and balance, and that constant thing of, well, that's unrealistic. So why's my goalkeeper done that? Because that dot has not moved and dived in the correct way. Because how the hell's he scored? We have to take both in equal measure. So if they're trying to align the gameplay and what we see on the pitch to be more realistic, then I have to be okay with them trying to align their data to be in line with real world football. I think that's fair. And for the record, for my own padlock, I think League One is a lovely league. It's a fine establishment of a professional football league, and I look forward to my end of season packs. Thank you very much.
I'm
You
happy
don't
to say,
fucking need it!
based on the pack look that I've had in the past, I'm happy to say it's a farmers' league. Because Lee's going to make no difference.
I shall also take Roots padlock as well, please. Thank you very much.
No, I get what you're saying. I don't think it should be rigid.
No.
Like, but I understand why they're doing it. Like, using real world to, like, compare to it. I just don't think it should be super rigid. But I don't think they have been super rigid. Because we've never had an exact season that matches exactly real world football, have we? Like, with their stats.
No, and I'm not chasing that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
No, I'm not chasing that. I like some of the things you said about what was on Ryan Walters' pod, which if people haven't listened to that, they should.
Yeah,
I know he doesn't always, but he can't do it as sort of like systematically as we do, because he needs to be able to line people up, have the time to do it. But when he does, it is worth a listen and worth a watch, because he gets some really interesting people on there as well.
Agreed.
Because when it said meet the manager, Matt, I was like, who the hell's Matt?
He's just a
loaded
manager
it.
of MFL.
Yeah, the owner of MFL. Oh, that Matt. Okay, fair enough. But it's very much worth a watch. But these things, like you were saying about teasing about maybe academies, I like all these new additions, these new ideas, these new concepts, and trying to keep it fresh and just keep generating new things to us to sink our teeth into. I really like that. I really like that.
You got anything to add before we move on to the next topic, Root?
Nope, happy with that. All good.
Cool.
Okay, so the next topic is obviously the new UI, and they've specifically said the team's main focus is now the new UI until we release it. And Dobby has notably been working on a global search bar, which is interesting because if you watch The Good, The Bad and The Ugly on Thursday, this is something SR Monkey mentioned about wanting, is just a global search bar where you can just search for anyone and bring it up immediately, which I think will be a great addition. But yeah, the new UI is coming. That's their focus. I think they've had it for a while. I think Matt said they've been working on it for a year, but it's sort of like it's always getting pushed to the back burner because they've got to work on something else. And if they add a new feature, then they've got to change the new UI. So now they're just going to... I'm imagining there are features coming that they've not mentioned yet, but they're waiting until the new UI comes out before they can do it. So now it's a focus, which I think probably about time, which is good because I can't wait for it. I want club histories, please, as soon as possible. What are your thoughts, boys?
I think the search bar will be really good, really handy. But to be fair, I just click on the leaderboard and just type in the manager name really, really fast.
I think this is for, you know, like in FM,
yeah,
where you have a global search bar, and you could just type in a player's name and it'll bring him up, or a manager's name, or a club.
So I just go to the top of the
Or a
screen
league.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all over that. Yeah, that's it. That'll be handy. And in terms of the UI, just be interested to see more of it because I think we've been teased it now for a few months, haven't we? Easily.
It's a few months ago when we got the last ones, yeah.
So, and I think from what we said in one of the pods when we looked at some of the screenshots, it just looked really clean. So I'd be quite interested to know how far away we are. And when it says the team's main focus, That must mean that they're not spending much time on match engine type stuff as well.
Well, I don't know because
Or does it split
I think
team?
Bastiste and Quentin work on the engine.
Still on the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I think the set's probably good. Mr.
Yeah,
K?
I think all these new sort of quality of life features definitely beneficial, but they're also wanting me to do it from not only appease your current audience, both the long term, those that have been around a couple of seasons, and those new users. It's also converting new users more frequently, getting more people in, constantly filling out the bottom of the pyramid and stuff. I'm very curious to see what the impact of this staff league is because I'll be honest, I've not heard a thing about the staff league from anyone. No. Every so often you get a mention of, I've got this staff league team that we could throw more players in, or I'd like someone to come in and potentially help out with this staff league team, assumably because they had someone new who's not really taken to it, and then this. But it's like this idea of, if I wanted to take one of my mates, say my brother doesn't do this, I've not even tried to get him into this at the moment because he's often interested in different things. But if I showed him this page, from that point of view, how understandable is it? How engaging is it? Like, from that point of view, I find it quite difficult at this point to sit back and look at it because I'm so used to it. I'm so ingrained with it. I know what I'm looking. I know what I'm navigating to. But for someone brand new, is it really easy to understand what you're supposed to be doing across every single page?
Yeah.
It's a tricky one to answer, that one, because every time you change it, it's thinking about everyone's needs, both your long-term users, your fairly newly converted users, and those potential new users.
Yeah. I think for me, because obviously when I found everything quite intuitive, the one thing I didn't find intuitive is literally the drop down where it says default tactic and your future upcoming matches. I know it says upcoming matches or whatever in the drop down. That just didn't ever jump out to me for quite a while. It was so for the first few days or so when I was doing it, I was just changing my default tactic, and it was only when McBride went, you can set ahead, I was like, huh? And then I realised the drop down was there. But I think outside of that, everything else kind of did. There are little things though. I think it was like when I was doing something with you earlier, Mr. Ken. I was like, do you know what? It was just quicker to press the lines and send an offer for the cost than press buy it now. Because to get to buy it now, I need to go into the profile. Whereas when I'm on the main thing, I just press the dots. I want to be able to buy it now there. So there's little nuances like that. But overall, I find it quite, even at the beginning, found it quite straightforward.
I was going to say, I think the benefit we have is that we are FM players. And one thing I noticed when I first joined, the layout is very FM. Like, there's a lot of similarity, like older versions of FM. There's a lot of very similar things. And I think that's why I found it intuitive, but I can't imagine someone who's never played FM coming in and having the same, like ease of finding everything. But I mean, yeah, like you said, the new UI, I'll probably bring a lot of stuff explaining a lot of things to new players, which will be very, very good. Anything to add before I move on?
Don't think so, mate.
Okay, so last one is the quick sell feature. Work has started on the quick sell feature, expected in the coming weeks. This will allow you to sell players directly to MFL and receive MFL in return. Now, I saw Yax, I think it was Yax, say something about this in Discord about how it will be capped.
Yeah, I saw that.
And there was talk about maybe it being capped at 29. And I'm a bit like, because, right, if someone's got a retirement tag, like, just wait for them to retire, who cares? But the people I'm more likely to quick sell are the 30-year-old, 46 rated guy who I've got no use for. He's not going to go anywhere. That's the type of guy I want to quick sell. But if there's a cap of like 29, that kind of cuts that off. So I might have a guy who's 46 rated who might go till he's fucking 42. And I've just got him sat there in my agency. I don't know about these caps. I'd imagine retirement cap, okay, you get nothing for him. Like, I can understand that, but yeah, I don't know.
I've been thinking about that one. Because it's like, I know Risu's been like wanting that question answered about, okay, what's the potential impact of implementing this feature? Of if it suddenly introduces loads more MFL into the ecosystem, what knock-on effect does that have, etc., etc., etc. Is it, we're setting a cap initially to stop, because if they just open season, I can imagine on the first couple of hours, all plus 30-year-olds are getting binned. Basically, like 90% of that population's in the bin. It's gone.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, that happens. But then what's that big overall ecosystem impact of how much MFL is going to? Can you imagine, I don't think Trust would do this, but imagine if Trust did that with his agency and sat there and went, okay, all these 30-year-olds plus, bye-bye, and they all go, because I'm not going to sit there and try and work out the economics of the whole thing, because I don't know what they're sort of predicting and mapping out from implementing this sort of feature. But if they set a cap initially, just to dissuade the massive influx of cards being binned off, to see what happens and what the knock-on impact is, to see if they need to refine it, and then potentially as they start understanding it and expanding upon it, maybe they can open it out a bit more, because then they can do that sort of cost-benefit analysis a bit more accurately. Because the one thing that they can do is they can go, okay, this is how much if they did this and this and this and this. One thing they cannot predict at this point is what the users will do.
No.
You know there'll be some guy who bins a 90, like, or something like that, because it happened. No, there will be, though.
Yeah, there will.
There will. At some point, someone will.
Then you do quick sell recovery.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's like, it kind of links to what we've said in other pods. So you open a pack and you literally pull a 38-year-old or 48-year-old, 40-year-old, oh my God, 40 rated, like 28-year-old, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I won't correct you now, carry on.
I was getting there, mate. It was not working very well. Like, you just need rid, right? No one's buying that. Like, and if they are, like, but what I'm interested to know what dollar MFL would be. Like,
I don't think it's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
I think people are going to be thinking it's going to be loads. I don't think it's going to be a lot.
No,
yeah, you're talking less than 3 figures.
Yeah,
yeah.
If it depends on the player.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if the dollar MFL is what it is, and they get that right, well then caps don't matter, right? Because if I had someone that was 30, to your point, Bruce, and he's just useless to me, and you're going to give me $10 MFL, I'm just going to take it. Like, do you know what I mean? Because like you just would, because that's probably negligible to give out.
Yeah, but to you, that of a 38, 40 rated player that's 30 years old, yeah, to you, if it's someone who's Bob, for example, and it's a low rated rare or a high uncommon, the 30, he bins those off. Obviously, there'll be multiplicables amounts of MFL he'd get, but we don't know what he'd do and the knock-on effect is. Because then, what could Bob then do? Well, if it's enough MFL or he generates enough to go then buy packs from the store and then opens them and or sells them, it is introducing value into the market that wasn't there being unlocked previously. So it's just that sort of balancing act they got to get through, because they could predict it now and theorise it, but if they did it for all players, and what if everyone burned every single player, if they wanted to do it that way, I'll set some sort of parameters, and then sort out, okay, well, this is how the limits we have to set on how much MFL you get. They release that, people look at that and go, that's shit, I don't like this is a bad job you've done, MFL.
Yeah.
But if then they bump those numbers up to what they believe we would be happy with, and then everyone does it to a massive degree, it could really throw the amount of... It's like minting more currency. The value of MFL will drop.
Yeah.
It will do, as soon as they introduce this, it will drop to a degree, but it could drop rapidly.
It almost has to be, like you just said, it has to be, they release it and everyone's like, well, this is shit. Because if they do it to... like what we'd expect it to be, like you said.
Oh, what we want it to be.
Yeah, look, we're going to take advantage of it, because it's like, oh, we're getting the amount of MFL we expect to get. Nice, like I'm going to take advantage of this and ban all my 30-year-olds, you know. So yeah, they almost have to do it to where the community isn't happy about it. Like, you know,
what is minted defined? So like how when they, I don't know how obviously they make a minted player. This is like going to sound the most stupidest thing. But how does a 28-year-old, 35 rated player exist off the bat when there's nowhere physically to play with them and nothing to do with them? How is that able to happen?
because it's
because it's
possible
just
within their
random,
parameters.
That's what I mean. So is it
random.
just random? That's what I mean. I don't know how. So they just
It's
go
any
create me a
standard
player and it's
MF
just
team
spits
thing.
out.
They
Yeah.
earmark them for your reward packs or your packed packs. That's what they do. They got root card.
but-
I just had a random thought as part of this thinking process about ages of players and stuff. Are you two able to be players in this ecosystem, or are you too old?
Wow.
I'm almost too old. I'm like
Yeah.
almost at max retirement.
Yeah, I was
I
just
have
gonna
Root
say.
retired.
can't be a
Yeah.
player.
Yeah,
can't
so
be.
Root couldn't be a player. I just thought it was a funny. My brain went there like, could you two actually be players? Because I've not thought about how old a player could be. But one of you guys mentioned 42 earlier, and I was like, oh yeah.
We'd be in the Masters League when that comes out. When all the
I'd
retired
get
players come
minted.
back.
I'd get minted with the orange tombstone already. Just one thing I wanted to say is about the wording. And what do we think about the wording? This will allow you to sell players directly to MFL and receive MFL in return. So that tells me, based on the wording, the players aren't going to get banned. They're just going to go back to the MFL
Yeah,
wallet.
and then they could go back in for
Yeah,
sale.
that's
maybe
what I'm saying.
auctions.
Like,
Maybe that links back into auctions.
yeah, but who's going to
Everyone burns
buy?
Well, I don't know. This is
You
my
can
point.
only do it with 28 rated players or under, and then suddenly there's a massive influx of these shit 28-year-old
But there's already
commons
a
in your
massive
packs.
influx.
Ooh,
This is the
that'd be
problem.
bad. If I packed a player that I knew someone had banned, I'd be
Yeah.
fuming.
Oh no, you burnt it, and then you go open a kickoff pack a couple days later, and you get again out your
Oh
kickoff
my
pack.
God.
Like, hang on a minute, he looks familiar. Oh, look at his playing history.
We're picking on those people. There will be people like that. Like to your point, I don't know. Could pack a 23-year-old, 52 rated, and absolutely means nothing to them, and they can't be bothered with it. They don't want to sell it. They just want rid of it. They want their 150 MFL dollars, and so they just sell it back to MFL. That player can't go to waste, right? Because there'll be a load of players that would want that
They
player.
can. I think they can.
just
But also,
can't.
that's up to the person, because I think it was Big Wilbert shared in the Discord when they were talking about this. He had a guy that he tried to burn and he couldn't realise how to burn it, and then he showed the progression, and he's like a Lego now.
Yeah.
But he was gonna burn that guy. But I guess that's your choice. If you want to burn him, you've got to burn him. Like,
Yeah, true.
we don't know the potential or anything. Anything else to add before we move on?
No.
No, just I'm intrigued. Very intrigued with this
I'm
one.
intrigued. Yeah. So we will now move on to Tactics Corner. If you don't mind, I'd like to go first, boys.
Yeah, you can go first. Mine's going to take about 30 seconds when I do mine. So.
Well, mine ain't going to be long. This week we are with Slippery Fish.
Yeah.
He put it in his club, MFC Melbourne, who currently find themselves in the relegation zone and struggling to find a win no matter which tactic they try. Now, this is a silver team, and yeah, I was about to share my screen. But yeah, this is a silver team, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, well, this isn't happening. Like, the squad is badly built, and I was you know, this whole thing isn't about roasting our community, because that's not the purpose. But I was looking at this like, what has gone through your head to build this team? Because it didn't make any sense to me at all. Like the players he's got in, but apparently he bought it late. This was a rush. He needed to get players in. I get it. I don't think we can save this, if I'm being honest, because, you know, number one, you've got a goalkeeper here. He's 83 rated in silver. You're already fucked. Like, number one, right there. And his backup is a 79. Like, you're fucked there right instantly. His best player, I saw his best player immediately. His best player was a left wing back, 88 rated. Oh, great. He can play a 5-back. I then looked at his right wing back, and he's an 81. Which is like just too big. No, he's a 78. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So that's a difference of 10 from your left and your right side. That is way imbalanced. It's just, I'm like, he doesn't even play the left wing back in left wing back. He plays him left back, and he drops down to an 83. And I'm like, well, you've got two left backs on there who are higher rated. So to me, that's like, that left wing back's a complete waste of rev share. Like, it just doesn't makes sense to me. And then we go to the strikers, and the strikers, he's got one striker who's okay. He's decent. He's probably a bit too not good enough for silver, but he's okay. He's slow, yeah, but not bad. He can shoot, he can score. He's got decent dribbling, terrible physical. But then his next striker is, I'd say it's a stone striker. Like his next one, well, I mean, maybe not. That's all right, but not for silver, like at all. That's just not good enough for silver. And he's because of the way he's put the team together, he has to play those commons in games, and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. I'm not sure what we can do. I have got a tactic that I put together to help you and maybe do something, because I think you've got two choices here. No matter what these guys say, no matter what they say, captain your goalkeeper. Number one, captain your goalkeeper, because it's the only fucking hope you've got. Like, people don't like captain and goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper needs to be one of the best players in the team, in my opinion, when you're squad building. It's got to be high rated. You can't have a goalkeeper who's way below everyone, because it's not good. But I thought what you can do is either, number one, you can play 4-2-3-1, which I will share in a moment, and just bore everyone to death. Try and get 0-0s, and your odd 1-0 win, and maybe lose 1-0 every now and again, maybe. Or just go full-on kamikaze tactic, and just do something mad, and just high line, full attack, and just have fun and enjoy it. I think no matter what, you're going to have to go to bronze, and you'll have more time to build a squad and just start again. Sometimes you've got to take a step back to take a step forward. And in this case, I think you've got no choice but to take a step back, because I can't see you surviving. But I did put this together. I put together a board raw formation, and I did some testing here. I started here. This one, just look at this one, because this game was mad. If you look at the stats, we lost 4-1 when we completely dominated. And that was when I played it with a really high line, just to see how it would work. It wasn't good. So I reduced the line down, and as you see from that one, we just won, draw, won. On the new engine, 4-2-3-1 looks great, but I am not falling into that trap. But this will help for this, and it'll make you tough to beat. And I think that's what you need. And just hope you get a 1-0 out of something. So attacking with middle, put everything in the middle here until you get to cross more often. Tell them to cross more often. Balance dribbling, more offensive. Out of possession, middle depth, because like I said, I had it up here to start with, got battered, so went down here to the middle. It seemed to fix it. Compactness, just bring it in a little bit. The usual diagonal line here. And then you will see on the instructions, the player instructions, very few. On the centre-backs, I've got take less long shots and more defensive on both of them. On the centre defensive mids, take less long shots. On the wide mids, I've put them on high positional freedom. And then the striker, low positional freedom. Your guy's slow. You don't want him moving about. These two guys on high positional freedom will come up here and help defend. And I think, honestly, this is the only hope you have got of doing anything. Not surviving, just doing anything, honestly, because the squad composition is it's gone. There's nothing we can do, I don't think. We try very hard to help everybody that we can, but we're not Jesus, guys. We're not Jesus. So just put it out. There's certain things we can't do, and unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot you can do, because it went wrong at squad build, I think. For reasons outside of Slippery Fish's control, of course, because it was late. He had to rush to put it together. But yeah.
I'm looking forward to the captions from this week's pod for that quote of "We're not Jesus." And let's put it all over X and see what religious zealots we get coming at us.
Well, I'll go next, because mine's going to be super quick. I basically had a look at his team, couldn't get anything to work. Yeah. Nothing was working. So I just went and picked the tactic.
You've got his team, right? You've got his team. Again? You've got control of his team.
I've got control of his team, yeah. So what I just did is literally loaded up the previous 4-1-3-2 tactic that we know is almost the meta for this season, and I put it out in a previous pod, so all the settings are the same, so I'm not even going to talk through them. If you want to see them, it was even last week's pod, maybe. I don't know what was it.
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just go look at that. They're on screen, but I basically put that together for him, just loaded it in, and then the idea being, if he runs that as his main one, you are right, he's obviously got to try and avoid these guys as best he can.
I was looking through it and I was like, how?
Yeah.
There's going to be some games where he has to play them. Like...
The only way I could get it so he only really had to use maybe the striker was I then gave him my narrow as well. So he loses the wingers. And then obviously if he does that, then the wingers are coming out and then he would rotate in the left back if he needs to. Do you get what I mean? And the right back.
But 9-11 in silver.
Yeah, it's still not going to be great. I still don't think it's going to be great, but that's the only way you can rotate without really using these guys.
Yeah.
The only way he can do it. So I did that for him. Just ran friendlies, but the difference is, win, 1-0 FC, win. The problem is, all the friendlies are against teams that are the similar rating to the rating of the tactic. Yeah. Clearly, in the division, these people are not going to be the similar rating to these teams. Yeah. You get what I mean? Because, the teams he will be playing here will be whatever this team goes out at 83, 85, 83 will be similar, yeah. Whereas the teams, obviously, all in this league are going to be way better. So I just did what you did. I just said run that formation, or you can try yours out when you've got it on there, or Mr. K's. He got a draw. To be honest, I don't even know how he only drew that game. He should have won it. And he had he dominated the game. He just couldn't hit the target. So they played well. He just couldn't hit the target. But then
that's the issue with the season. If you go to his table,
exactly. So that's me in a nutshell. I just used last week's tactic because that was the only thing I could figure out to get his players into. That wasn't 5 at the back that I just didn't want to even start with because he was literally going to have to rotate in the common players. I think you summed it up really nicely. It's nothing about against slippery fish. Like go and smash bronze next season and get promoted with the squad you've got.
That's your best bet.
Yeah. And that's it for me on that one.
Yeah.
Well, for me, boys, I know Fish quite well.
Yeah.
I actually bought my first club off the market from Fish. That's when we got talking, and we've been co-owners in clubs since then, basically. So I knew for a fact when he bought this license, he was asking because he wants to collect Australian licenses best he can. Cool. Yeah, he's got a thing that he wants to do. Awesome. He came across this opportunity for this one, found a price that he was happy to potentially pay, asked for thoughts about the cost-benefit analysis, even if it ended up being, this is how much revenue I have to give out, how many seasons until I break even. So I looked at the numbers, gave him a rough estimation, and he was happy with the numbers, so he went for it. So he's not really, I think he'd be very happy if he could keep them up, but I think he was fully entertaining the idea that realistically, he knew it would get relegated, but he's going to get some MFL out of it and then look to recoup the cost and have a high level-ish sort of Australian license in a location he loves. So that's fine. The issue he's got with this team is goals.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, we talked about the goalkeeper. Yeah, definitely. I think he's the second. He's conceded the second or the third highest amount of goals, but he's extremely, extremely low on the amount of goals he's scored himself. I think it's 7 in the league so far. Yeah. And that's the indicative issue. Now,
it's like I said, the striker is decent, but not for silver.
No.
Yeah,
he hasn't got the pace, but he hasn't got the physicality. And you need one or the other, in my view, to be a good striker. If they've got high dribbling, nice. like literally, it's not really something I really look into all that much. It's more that balance between the pace, the shooting, and the physicality, and how that's sort of weighted. And that striker hasn't got it. He hasn't got 2 out of the 3. So that's an issue off the bat.
Yeah.
I know for a fact we were talking about formations the other day for the silver side, and he was like, well, if we played 5-3-2, how would you set it up? And I was literally leaving the gym and I went, I'd do it this way. And he can't quite do it because, again, he hasn't got the firepower to do it with. It's like every single potential solution, even the one that you gave, Bruce, which I think is a pretty solid option of grind out results, try and grind them out and just not be shipping so many goals. But then I looked at the quality of that league, and it's quite a strong silver league.
Well, Kev's in there, and Gully World's in there. Like, there's ridiculous managers as well as strength of teams. Like,
The biggest surprise there is the team that's only just outside the relegation playoff is the strongest team apparently on paper, because you've got these best 16 averages as you go across the Silver League. That's quite a strong Silver League. So he's where, based on paper, he is where theoretically it should be, but then it starts jumping up quite quickly now. I'd argue, given that rating, it is juiced a little bit with one or two players, juicing those numbers, but sort of, I know Old Town Owls and they're quite a decent team, but this team down, these are the games you should be prioritising, is how I start viewing the league now. Try and hold out for draws where you can and be solid, but then in these games you want to be making sure that you're trying to give yourself an edge to try and win it. So even if it is the 4-2-3-1, defensive against all these guys up here and just try and hold out, I don't advocate that in MFL, but it's a way to play it. But everyone below that, you want to be going into those games going, right, how am I going to win?
Yeah.
Because you need to be targeting points, and you're looking for at least a point. That's the mentality of it. But yeah, it's not a normal sort of take on Tactics Corner, save your season sort of vibe. But given what we've got at our disposal, it's like every single potential formation you can play, like the 4-1-3-2. I know he's had my version of it because I share them for the silver team and stuff. It don't matter what formation we've built across. There's not one coherent formation that could be run in that sort of current squad.
Yeah,
exactly.
Agreed. I mean, if Slippery Fish, hopefully something we've done helps you get some points. If you stay up, honestly, I want to know about it, because that's a massive achievement. Even if you get into the bloody playoffs, like the 9th place playoffs, that's a massive achievement. So I'd like to know. So keep us updated, mate, please. I would appreciate that. But yeah, sorry, we there's only so much we could do. But Mr. K summed it up pretty well there, I think. So yeah, with that done, shall we move on to the player progression spotlight?
Yep.
Because we have a few players. Before we do that,
yeah, I was going to say I'll go last because I've got all those players open. So if you want to,
have you got those players open? Okay,
yeah, I'll do them last with my player. Yeah.
Okay, so we do have some community players to show, but we'll just go through ours really quickly. I don't think I've got anything really last 7 days. No, nothing really. My guy Volmer, he has, I will just show it real quick. He's done exactly what I expected him to do. He's got to the tier break and he's stopped, which is exactly what he's done like last season. And then I'm expecting in the second half of the season he'll get another 3 points, go up to 67, and then I'll just wait until next season. So other than him, I've not had anything major happen, but he is on course for a third 10 plus 10 season back to back. So just watching, waiting for the stats to start creeping up to know when he's gonna hit that tier break for me. So yeah, what about you, Mr. K? Have you got anybody? How's your right back doing?
He is 89 rated. I don't know what he was last week when we did this. Let's do 1 week. Yeah, he's gone up in the last week. So yeah, he's got another +1 in shooting, +2 in dribbling. He's now at 89 rated at 28 years old. So yeah, he's ticking along quite nicely. In terms of the last 7 days, anything else? That's someone I wanted to show actually, because it's someone I packed at the start of the season, and considering it's his first season, it might be quite promising. So the guy that I've been showing you previously, this guy from last season, he's carrying on just doing his thing. I think he's +6 for the season. He's just constantly picking up stats. It's this centre mid. Packed him start of this season, 79 rated. He's 23 years old. Okay rounded, but he started to round out in a few stats. But in his first season playing regularly in Iron, he's +2 already for this season. Which, considering it's his first season, I thought, maybe. But the one thing I'm keeping in mind is, while he's centre mid dominant, he's got very high passing, and he's gone up in his passing, and his dribbling's not too bad, but you can see here he needs to round out some more of these stats. The more this goes up, his overall, he can't be a one-trick pony in centre mid. That won't cut the mustard. So
I was going to say, I find centre mids are the hardest ones to go up because they require so many stats. Like he requires shooting, he requires defense, he requires physical to go up. Like it's got to be quite rounded out. But
yeah, it's definitely part of it. The guy in Dev Jail, I don't think he's gone up this week in terms of overall, but I think he is. We go for 1 week. Oh no, he's got up 1 this week. He got +1 in passing. He's slowed up again, like he did last season. He sort of slowed up a bit, but he's slowly creeping towards tier jail again. So it's just keeping an eye on that if that's going. Is there anything else in this last 7 days? No. Oh, last 7 days. Oh, that guy's gone up +2 in the last 7 days. That's what I noted the course of the week. The other young centre mid that I've got has done the same. He's also gone, but again, quite heavily weighted in the passing. So again, take it with a pinch of salt. Go for current season. Quite like the look of this guy because I packed him last season, the mid-season pack drop. This season he's gone up +2, but he's only 17. He's got a lot of stats to sort of grow into. And yeah, nothing else majorly to shout out about. If we're going for the current season overall, you can see there's just a few Legos and a couple of rares that are ticking on with some stat increases. There's a lot of Legos that have picked up a few stats here and there. So yeah, nothing major at this point. Like that goalkeeper from a couple of seasons ago, he's gone. I think he gets +1 like once a season, basically. Yeah, he didn't get anything last season, but he's gone up like 1. He's gone up 3 during the course of his career, and this is his 4th season. So he's only 19. He could shoot up. I do expect he might be a Lego goalkeeper towards the end, but yeah, steady away. As we expect at this time of the season, it starts slowing down quite a bit.
Yeah, I've noticed it going after games, after cup games, and there's like not even a +1 to anybody's stat or anything. I'm like, I hate this part of the season. But yeah. So what about you then, Root?
I'll do mine, then I'll do the 4 community ones. So I've just got 2 guys I want to call out here. This centre mid, who can play centre mid, cam, and CDM. He's gone up in his passing, his dribbling. I got him at the start of the season. Don't think I've shown him yet. So he's gone at 1, 2, 3. Looks quite a good player. Nice age in the dev centre. And then Mr. Hurst, who we showed last time, I think had gone up a +3, is now on a +5. He's the one that I showed you had gone 4, 4. And this season he's gone 5 already. So whether he'll get any more this season, we'll see. But this is probably the best progressor in my agency in terms of short-term progression. So yeah, 4, 4, and 5 so far now. So he's rounding out really nicely. 63 pace, 58 defence. Shame he's not 6 foot, but he's all right. Good physical, 76. Quite happy with that, and he's nice big green arrow. So yeah, he's like over his time, he's probably one of my, if not the. Yeah, he is actually my top progressor that I've had in my agency. Bearing in mind, this is only his 3rd season. And obviously, this guy as well. I didn't realise how much I've had him, how much he'd progressed. I mean, it's over quite a period of time, but I actually didn't realise how much he'd progressed until I was looking at this earlier and looking at how many of these players. My favourite just going nowhere. Look, so
it's just that last +1 was when he was playing for me. That last +1 was when he was playing for me. He's mad. He wants to come back.
Oh, so annoying.
He just tapped out.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, and then but I've got a few like centre backs in Dev that are doing all right. This guy just teetered off a little bit now, but he was doing really well in Dev. He'll come out of Dev at the end of this season, so he's probably hit his peak's done now. But
prime, yeah,
it might have been his prime age. Was looking at that, his prime age might have been 26, but that extra 20% you gave him Dev jail for 4 years, it's pushed it forward a bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he went in at a 43. He's coming out at 55, and I can use him. So
yeah,
happy days.
Yeah.
Right. We've got share this tab instead. So this is from Clarinio. He wanted us to showcase this goalkeeper. This is his progression this season. Ooh. So he bought him this season just for a player to have. Wasn't maybe expecting much from him. He said in his message to me. Let me just find what he said.
Yeah, he's got 2 seasons there of 2 progression, 1 of 1, and then obviously he was waiting to tier break and he's jumped 2 again. So he could go another one this season, or you'd hope like next season he goes up another 2.
Yeah. It's nice when a goalkeeper does that.
It's nice when that happens, isn't it? So
yeah, especially for a goalkeeper, I think, because
you don't see anything until it eventually goes overall because they haven't got the breakdown of stats.
They haven't got the breakdown of stats,
Nice.
Great. So then we've got next tab. We've got Scott Jenks. He sent me this guy that he's got as a progression. They wanted me to share.
I recognise him.
Yeah,
he's
he put to me,
older.
if you're looking for any progression highlights on your next episode, I bought him at 84 rated. So that's here somewhere.
Last season, yeah. 2 seasons ago.
And he went to
I had him on loan.
87 and
I had him
threw
on
up the
loan.
retirement
That's
symbol.
why.
You what?
I had him on loan, that's why I recognise him.
Right. Yeah,
So
he's just thrown up the
+5
retirement
since
symbol.
he had him. Nice.
So he did say he's thrown up the retirement symbol, the little bastard.
Yeah,
Just
because
if we want the full context of the message.
Your club's on there, Bruce. Can you see it? Rick and Old Rift. That's
Oh,
the
it
one
is,
we swapped. Yeah, he was on loan with me. That's why I recognise him.
So yeah, that's obviously great, but obviously he's got the retirement symbol, bless him. But that is some good progression. So
Yeah,
from a
that is
62 all the way up to an 89. Nice. Next one is from James. So this guy is what he's asked.
Is
me
that
to
the Palmer
share.
guy? That's Palmer's guy, isn't it? Oh no, it's Hammer's.
No, it's Hammers' guy.
Oh, nice.
So he said this guy's in the staff league. So that's this season in the staff league. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 7 this season in the staff league. So he's got 17 games.
Jesus. So when they go above, because they said there was a cap of common only, but I presume if they progress, they're still allowed to use them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
specified in the staff league. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
went in
okay.
at 54 and he's obviously 61. So yeah, they can carry on playing.
Yeah, because everyone was looking for 54 rated and or out of position improvements for the staff league.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is really nice.
that is nice. So yeah, 7. Look at them up like that. Everywhere where you'd want your centre back to be going. To be fair, get a bit of pace in him. What is he? 6 foot as well. So that's the third one, and then the last one we've got is from SLD LRD, who he's just said, if you're looking for players to discuss on the pod, my biggest bargain, $20, and he's now an 86 right winger. He was around 77 when he picked him up at the start of season 10.
He's not a nice spread of stats if you look at it. He's also got high physical for a winger.
Oof, that's rare.
So
Yeah.
that's his.
I'm sure he was in the 80s. Yeah, 87
and he's
physical.
87.
Yeah,
90
Jesus.
for dribbling.
Very well rounded.
So he's got from 77-ish to 84 since season 10. And he paid $20
I wonder if
for
he's
it.
better. I wonder if he's better out of position at a.
He might be
right
really
wing.
good at right wing, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's,
wonder
well,
if
that's what he
out of
said.
position.
He said he's
He's going to be better right wing.
86 at right wing. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So
that
yeah, it
makes
goes
sense.
another 2 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for a $20 buy in
Yeah,
season 10,
Yeah, you're not going to say
That's
no to that,
insane.
are you? Yeah.
that's insane. And that is the last one I've got of the progression from the community. But I think we need to, if anybody does have anybody you want us to showcase, we kind of started doing it informally a couple of episodes back. I think you maybe called it out, Bruce. I'm not sure. Said something about like to get your players in or something, whatever. I don't know if it was intentionally, but from that moment, people are sending me players now quite regularly.
No, please do. It's cool. We'd love to see him.
think it's good.
We love to see him.
Everyone loves progression about this game, so the more examples you see of it, the more you're enthusiastic about it.
Exactly.
Agreed. So now we will move on to our final part of the episode, which is, of course, the community questions. And we've got a few. Not as many. Hopefully it won't take forever like it usually does. But first one comes from Hoodwink. He says, how devastated are you all that Admeezy has ruined Christmas and cancelled the documentary? Now, I can understand why. I can understand his reasoning for doing it. But I've said this to him before. He should get members of the community involved. Get them to write a little script and do skits. Right? Write a little script to like someone. Can you do this and send me a video of you doing this and put it all together and do skits in his video with the community. And I think that'd give it a fresh spin. Because I was saying to him, like, I'd love to do one if like we were ever in the same league, and I'll depict myself as like some Jose Mourinho type person and do like Jose Mourinho quotes and shit, and I'll be like the big bad guy or something. But he should do stuff like that, I think. Get the community involved in it, though I do understand he don't want to repeat himself. But we would like to see it back, because it's cool, I think.
Yeah, I like it. But like, I do think he said it did take him a lot of hours. So like, you said, if you get
I
other
could see
people
it.
involved, then it would be good. But
I just
I
think
do
you should
like
try
the
harder. I heard it was the amount of complaints he got from the neighbours about this weirdo in his garden constantly talking to himself about people who weren't there.
The next question comes from Hudwick, and he says, the answer is Timmy Vaughan, but what is the question?
No idea,
Who's retiring this season?
mate.
Sorry. Sorry, Hudders.
Whose career has been poorly managed?
Oh my days!
Sorry, Hudders.
Wow.
Obviously, the answer you want, who's the greatest striker that has ever existed in MFL? And the answer is Timmy Vaughan. Obviously, we know this.
I want to go see what Timmy Vaughan looks like to see if he's a lookalike.
Nothing like he originally looked like at all. The original had like the big wide eyes, and I think he was a black guy and he was bald, and now he's just like some normal dude.
Yeah, it is like an extra from Green Street or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks a bit nondescript.
Well,
Okay,
we'll
so-
have to. We'll just. We'll have to show him on screen now. We've said that. There we go.
Well, he needs to feed him a sandwich or something. Jesus.
Yeah.
Look at that.
77 physicality, doubt. His arms are almost transparent. That shirt's
yeah,
way
look
too big for him.
Look at his kit. Look at the sleeves on his kit.
Yeah. Who can only fill out a quarter of a sleeve?
Oh, nice.
MFL equivalent of a coat hanger. Anyway, carry on.
Sorry for the Timmy Vaughan slander, Hudders.
I've enjoyed that. Thanks, Hudders.
The next one comes from Amreezy, and I believe you are going to share an image route.
I'll share it now.
And this is an interesting one. What colour do you like your tea to be? Can use this chart to answer. Will help me when we eventually hang out and I need to make you one. I'm a D1 kind of guy.
So Amreezy's here. D1.
Yes. So I think I'm anywhere on the C. I'm all right with
Even
anywhere
a C1.
I mean, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I think B4 is a bit too weak, but C's not
I
bad.
know. C1 looks like it's cold. It's a cold cup of tea. It's no longer hot. There's that much milk in it. It's a cold cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm probably like C3. I drink a C2 and I drink a C4.
I think
C3 is probably about.
ideal is C3 for me, but
Yeah.
anywhere along C I'd be okay with. Like,
I could just about manage C4 in terms of strength of it, but if we actually want to taste tea that we're drinking, it's somewhere on that D row, definitely.
You won't go past D2 though, right?
I won't be asked. Yeah.
Well, all the way
Strong
to
cup of tea.
D4.
Builder's brew.
That's-
That's a coffee, basically.
I was
so
going to
no.
say, I was like, that.
Yeah, but no, I want a strong cup of tea. If I'm drinking tea, I want to be able to taste of tea drinking tea.
Right.
If
definitely
someone gives
taste
me a
it
cup of tea
B4.
from anywhere from B3 or lower, I'm slapping them in the face. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
that's-
doing?
Like anyone that's down
It
to that.
was-
what's
oh
that?
my god.
Would you like a cup of milk? There you go. A1 is I forgot the tea bag.
Yeah, that's horrific. Oh, you've poured, like you said, too much milk. You've poured you've gone to pour the milk and it's just all gone. And you're
It's like you just filled up the used washing up bowl into a cup.
yeah.
So
Okay.
we've got two C3s for everybody, and Mr. K somewhere in the D. But he's not
D3,
asked, as long as he doesn't get less.
D3, I reckon.
Yeah.
D2 I'll go for.
D2?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. How does everybody else take theirs? I don't think I saw.
Phrasing.
Oh yeah. I don't think I saw any questions in the Discord about it or people saying what they'd take. I didn't see that, so I don't know.
Well,
what
I think there was one comment, wasn't there? Where was it? Let's have a look.
Right,
Where
Root,
I think
you need to post it so we go for next week.
SLDLRD put C3 to D2 is acceptable. Anything else is a no. So Ricky put, answering for yourself though, is this going to be root cause answer when they record? So I copied SLDs and pasted it as exactly that. And then I've made sure in this thing I've also said exactly the same. C3 to D2. However, in honesty, it is C3. That is the one. That is. I don't really want it any other than that if I can help it.
Okay, lovely. The next one's from Taggart. When playing football, do you tuck your shirt? Quick answer, no.
No.
No, I don't. Only nerds tuck their shirt when they play football.
Nah, and sleeves are rolled up. If I've got a long sleeve football shirt up, it's getting rolled up. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, nah. And if someone's wearing gloves, good luck. Especially within the other teams.
What about the goalkeeper, poor bastard?
Nah. Don't care. No prisoners.
What about you, Roo? Are you a nerd or shirt tucked?
Shirt
untucked?
out. Shirt
Yeah,
out.
you got to, haven't you? You got to. Okay. Saka, I don't have a specific question, but you lads are smart. If you could brainstorm a punishment for non-responders who completely ghost you on bids and loans, scandalous behaviour from some owners. I didn't get this because I did catch the comments on this, and he was like, Bruce needs to give me an answer. And it was as though he'd sent me a loan and I'd ignored him, and I was like, I haven't fucking loaned anyone.
Yeah, well,
You must have blocked him already.
So I think, well, I've purchased a club off one of you three in the last hour. So I'm assuming he purchased off Mr.
K.
That's that.
See?
I've got 4 players from another one of you leading a title charge in Spark, which is from me.
Right.
The other guy is Bruce, so it's quite clear what he's on about. Bruce owes me an answer.
Right, okay. I don't know about a punishment. I don't know about... It is annoying. I agree. It's very fucking annoying, but I also understand why, if people have these massive agencies, what really annoys me is when people list for 2.5 or the list for 5, even 5%, the list for 5%, and when you send in a bid for 5%, they reject it as though you're the biggest dickhead in the world. And it's like, if you didn't want 5% for him, why did you list him for fucking 5%? Like, list him for your lowest, but they do it to increase. But I think that's stupid. I mean, I don't know if there's any punishment. People are going to do it. People have reasons for doing it. And I can't come up with a punishment for it. Like,
I think
it's
what
just annoying.
people should do, what Sacco should do, instead of trying to loan players, is you should buy players, and specifically players that I'm trying to sell. That's what you should do. But no, who else is trying to sell at the moment? Solid Lad is, and was it Dan LFC? He's also trying to sell players. Yeah, so there's plenty of players out available at the moment. So.
Also, the other thing, if you don't want to buy players, which you should go buy players off those guys if you want to, not financial advice, even though that was complete financial advice, I would suggest instead of just putting loans out on the market is network. Talk to people. We'll usually have people in our Discord saying at the start of the season, I've got these players, does anybody want them? Network with people. Cut out that whole ignoring.
Talk to the owner before you send the loan offer.
Exactly. Because
quicker.
Sometimes you'll get they'll have the thing on there on the scouting market, but if you talk to them, sometimes they'll do it for cheaper because you've reached out and spoke to them.
I've done that loads. And it's more a case of, if I know who I'm loaning to, so if I'm not happy with something or I want to query something about how it's going, or even if I need them back for whatever reason, got a means of starting that conversation.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before. It's like, actually, I could do with that player back. Can I send you this player instead? Fine, cool. Yeah, but I can contact her. I know I can deal with that if I need to. So yeah, get in touch with folk.
Yeah, that's your best bet, definitely. Networking is honestly, I've started finding out over the past few seasons, like, it's so much easier for loans. Way easier. Even a few seasons ago, I had problems filling out a squad, and I just contacted Work the Space. I just started chatting to him, and he sent me like 8 players.
I did the same.
Yeah, really, really good rev share as well. Like,
yeah, he's sound. All he wants to know if he's loaning them that they're getting game time.
Play. Exactly.
Yeah, that's all he's bothered about.
Yeah,
and he's really sound to deal with.
Yeah, so I would always suggest contacting the manager, and if you can't get in contact with them, just ignore their thing because they might not get back to you. That's all I can really say. Next one comes from Solid Lad. Who's been your biggest bargain buy and your worst value buy? That's interesting.
It's impossible for me to pick one of the players from McBride. It's impossible to pick one of them. I would say
as the worst,
as the best.
Oh, sorry.
As the worst.
He's got some good players off for fucking peanuts off McBride, honestly.
I can't pick that, but I don't even know who the worst is either.
I was thinking about this, and my biggest problem for worst is I look at them and I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I paid that price for him. But at the time, that was a fine price for him. And then I'm like, well, then I've had him for like 4 seasons.
I think I know my worst. I've got my worst.
Go on.
I've literally got it. Unfortunately, it's a transaction between me and Mr. K, and it literally is my worst. Like, it's not that the guy isn't any good.
I'm so happy.
It's this guy, Rodrigo Galindo.
Galdino?
Yeah, look at this. Look at
What's
this.
wrong with Galdino?
Bosh.
Ooh.
And he's a starter all the time, all these seasons. And look at this. Bosh.
Oh,
Bargain.
Don't get me wrong, at the time that was probably different.
How old was he when you got him?
yeah, it'd have been like below 23.
21,
I
22?
think he was 21,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21, I think. So at the time, I was, but he's just done nothing. So I'd say he's the worst. And then if we are going to do best, ironically, I would say it's this guy, which is someone I don't ever talk about. And he was
How much do you pay from
25.
Oh, yeah.
But he's unbelievable. He's just so good. And then the right back's really good. But I don't know. They're all good buys, aren't they? But
Yeah.
But yeah.
Christ.
This hold on. This guy was quite a good buy, actually. I think I paid like
I've got him at Yorkshire Tea and XP.
I paid $10.
$10. Fucking hell.
Yeah. So that wasn't even McBride. That was just someone else selling off. So I nabbed that. But yeah, the one from you, Mr. K. Unfortunately, just all hopes and don't get me wrong. He's a brilliant player and he's consistently good. He just isn't going anywhere.
That's the problem because, like, I've got a guy like that Japanese right back I paid $185 for. And I look back now and I'm like, oh, fuck, he's only progressed +1. And, fuck, that's a bad price now. But then I've had, like, 4 seasons of really good use out of him in strong teams. So it's hard to say he's the worst.
Yeah.
It
that's
really
it,
is.
yeah.
I think my best is the goalkeeper I got a couple of seasons ago when I bought him for like $140 at 84 and really young, and he's gone up to an 86 and almost an 87. I'm hoping 87 comes soon, and he's my best player this season. So I think that's probably my best value buy. I was really pleased with that. What about you, Mr. K? You have a shit ton.
I'm trying to think of best value buy, to be honest, is what I'm looking at. The right back is a good one because I've done obviously a few agency purchases previously.
Yeah.
And it was primarily, I didn't mind getting the extras, but it was primarily targeting those sort of higher rares is what I was getting out of it. So that right back was part of an agency buy. So it was transferred at 0.01 because it was part of an agency buy, but I think I paid like $3.25 for the agency in dollars, and now I've got that right back out of it. Yeah. And I've got a few players up that end of my agency that came from that. I think the left back that I've got is 83. He's from that. There's a few sort of players. I was more thinking like worse buy because I had a couple that I could have said potentially were there. Like that, I've still got that 21-year-old. He's now 82 rated CDM that I bought for $230 when he was like 17 or 18, and he's not progressed loads, but he keeps ticking along. He's getting every season. He's getting a few more stats over the course of the season. So I'm like, he might just be that slow burn until we get to that sort of prime age, and he might jump quite a few. He's now 82, so he's not a million miles away from getting to that tier break point. I would have said, if you asked him at the start of the season, it would be the striker that now he's Lego because he went +2 this season. Because I paid $230 for him as well. And he was 82 rated after he started at 80. He was 82 at the end of his first season. Bought him as he turned 23. And then for the last 5 seasons, this is his 5th season, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5th season. He's gone from 82 to 86. But at the start of the season, he'd gone from 82 to 84.
Yeah, so...
It's just suddenly... I think we're hitting the prime age peak. It's either this season or next season is his prime age peak. I'm hoping, naturally, it's next season. But... Yeah. We found that would have been it. But yeah, past that, not too many bad buys. But I don't really view them necessarily as bad buys because if I'm buying them specifically as well, I'm like, I was happy with the price, otherwise I wouldn't have paid it. So, however it pans out, and I've always tried to buy the younger players like that. If I'm paying, until this season, those were my highest purchases. the highest purchase I think in the game is 250 on a singular player.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the highest I've ever spent on someone. And that's for that right winger that we were chatting about mid-season when I was sort of considering a few bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too bad.
Cool. Okay, I like this question. James, he says, the teams you support can sign one player from their country's league they're in to make them better. Who would you want them to sign?
Does it need to be realistic? So if it's Man United in your case, it's one player from the league.
One player from the country's league, so English, I'd imagine.
Right.
Oh, I think it's from the league they're in. Anybody in the
Yeah,
league.
that's what I'm
Anyone
going with.
playing in England? Oh, okay.
No, anyone playing the Premier League for you two. And
So not an
Championship for
English
me.
guy?
No.
Right,
And
so
I
it has
pick
to
a
be a Premier.
championship
You have to
team.
buy someone from the Championship. Okay, right, okay, that makes sense, yeah. Okay. So what about you guys?
I know mine.
Go on then.
I can go if you want. So I would sign Imran
Loser.
from
Watford?
Watford, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's a quality like CM, CDM, and he's just having an absolutely amazing season. And
Oh, you'd fit your 4-1-2-1-2 narrow as well.
yeah, exactly, mate. I could rotate him really well.
Yeah. Dual
No
position.
problem.
Nice.
So yeah, dual position. I didn't even think about that, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really good. So yeah, I would go
thoughts.
for him. I think he's a good player. I think he's 25, 26. So yeah, got a bit of time ahead.
Nice. What about you, Mr. K?
It'd have to be a striker, given the team that Leeds have in the Prem, and given the style of play, it needs to be someone who is physical but has something that we seriously lack as strikers, which is pace. So we don't have that. We've just got big lumps. So thinking in that sort of mould who can play that sort of role. See, I'm not going to go for your Haaland. That's just far too obvious. And I'm also trying to think, my brain straight away went to Ekatike. For the sort of all-round sort of physical sort of player that he is. He can do a bit of everything. But I'm also now thinking if there's someone who's actually arguably more realistic, even though there probably isn't a Premier League striker that is realistic for us right now, because it wouldn't make any sense for them to move to us. Yeah. Like if you'd gone for Beto last season, the form he was in, that would have been a great signing. This season he's been shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky one, that one, but it'd definitely be a striker.
Okay. I had the same sort of thought, because it's like, when I first saw this question, I was like, Harry Kane. But then I'm like, well, from one, he's not from the Premier League. But especially after today, like, I'm really happy with all of United's signings this season. I think they've all performed really great. So now I'm like, what do I do now? And I think the big thing we need to do is replace Casemiro. And I think the best player to do that is probably the lad from Notts Forest.
Anderson.
I think there's been people talking about Baleba, but I don't rate him that much. I think he's a good player. I don't think I rate Anderson, though. I think he's got to be priority number one. We've got to replace Casemiro, and I think he's the guy that can do it. So I'd say Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. But yeah, I like that question. Final question comes from Slippery Fish. He says, when will Mr. K change agency strategies again? Surely there's a giveaway for whoever is the closest.
You know the irony is?
What?
He's changed his strategy more than I have.
He's not on a pod to talk about it there.
That's fine. I was looked at it and I thought, hot kettle black? Like, okay, that's fine. Let's go with that. Because he's done his pace team, he's done his out of position teams, he's done his cup teams, now I'm doing Australian licenses, now I'm buying licenses to sell them because I want to sell them to make more money. Now it's a case of I want to sell them to farm them for MFL. But other than that, he's not changed strategy at all.
I see.
But I will at some point change my strategy naturally, because I'll be chasing this. I want to compete at the highest level. I'll get as far as I can get down that journey, and then there'll become a point of, I either achieve that and I stay there, I achieve that and I start dropping down for whatever reason, or I don't achieve it, I don't want to put more money in, so I need to pivot again into something I want to do.
That would have been my exact answer. Like, either you get to Diamond and achieve that, or you get close and you're like, shit, I need to do this, and then so that would have been my exact answer.
Yeah, that's literally what will be the case. I've enjoyed the massive agency thing. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I want to be up there now.
Yeah,
That's where I want to be. I know I want to be there, so that's what I'm going for.
Nice. Okay, so that's everything because we have answered all the questions, and that is it for this week's episode. Hopefully, Hammer's had a good cardio session. Do either of you boys want to add anything before we wrap everything up?
Yes, please. So next week we have a guest on. So there will hopefully be 4 of us, but if not, it'll be these 2 lovely lads, and Kiz Marlowe is coming on. So
Cool.
Why potentially only us 2?
because I need to see what happens next Sunday while I'm away on holiday again.
Oh.
Did you not realise I was on holiday? Sorry.
No, to be fair, you never go away, so I'm just not used to it.
Sorry, should have told you. So yeah, we've got Kiz Marlowe coming on. Really looking forward to it. He was literally from the moment I sent the thing out, way back in January, saying, "Did anybody want to come on?" He was seconds from messaging.
He best be a talking horse, so I'm going to be very disappointed.
He's been super keen to come on. We've been messaging backwards and forwards just to make sure. Reached out to him yesterday or the day before just to double check. He's actually changed his rotor and take his time off work so we can make it. Because he must work wrote a job. I can't remember if he's told me his job, so forgive me if he has. But I wouldn't say that on the pod anyway. So yeah, he's going to be on next week. So yeah, hoping there's 4 of us, which would be really good if there is. And then it'll probably be another 4 to 5 weeks after that, and we'll have somebody else that will come on at that stage. Like we said, try and do it as regular as we can. So that's the only thing I wanted to add.
Awesome. Anything
Cool.
from you, Mr. K?
Buy my players. Thank you very much.
Yeah, by Mr. K's players, who is currently selling.
I might do another highest bidder auction thing, but it'll be all for $1 players and see how that turns out.
I'd like you to do auctions for the clubs. I think that'd be pretty good.
No, because I can definitely guarantee money for them.
I was going to say.
No.
No, I think the auction was really cool. I like you say, I wasn't going to get in, but I dabbled in because I dropped you a couple of messages. So yeah, it's
Well, yeah, you put a few bids in. We sorted out a few deals. I mean, there's you to thank. There's Bremner to thank. There was a guy that was talking about buying a few players, and then I was like, yeah, we can look into that. Let me know what you're interested in. Not anything. So, And then like one of the guys who bought loads of my players messaged me afterwards and just said thanks basically for the way it was done. I was like, yeah, it's cool.
Like you say, I would have bought more, but it's just like I don't have this endless thing to just keep buying them because it's one of those that because we're on this pod together, I want you to get the best value for the players. And when I was looking at your videos, I was like, I can't let that guy go.
There was some
so
like, I looked at,
I'll
and
give
I was
you more.
I shouldn't be accepting this, but I will do because I'm a big one on like giving my word on things and like gentlemen's agreements and stuff.
Exactly.
I've done loads of deals for stuff like that. I've done more favourable deals for people because they've just been conducted themselves in the right way, and that goes a long way with me.
Of course it does.
So you go about it that way. I'm happy to do them. It's when people don't do that, then basically the whole negotiation's gone out the window because you've gone back on what you said you'd do. No, bye. Not doing that.
No,
I'm not entertaining that. So yeah, should be interesting. Get rid of some of the players, shift them along. People who are interested, let me know. Maybe I'll do a raffle. I am considering potentially doing a giveaway for one of the licenses for the end of the season. Potentially to one of the guys that are in our community and or those that have delegated clubs out to this season for running a club. Just say thanks because I can't do it again next season.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I'm thinking about doing something like that. Well, I'll have a think about that one.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to if you're watching, you're probably already in the Discord, but if you aren't, and you're not in the Yorkshire Tea XP Discord, get in, because that's where we do lots of our chatter, lots of where we vote for Tactic of the Week, Tactics Corner, and stuff like that. So be sure to join the Discord, and until the next time, guys, peace.